Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to Sheffield, welcome to the English Institute of Sport and welcome to British Athletics TV, day one of the Sainsbury's British Indoor Athletics Championships, which I can tell you there have already been some cracking headlines which we'll take you through very shortly indeed, but still we have about 3.5 hours of live coverage to bring you courtesy of youtube.com/British Athletics TV through until approximately 7 o'clock this evening, and the same again tomorrow. We're on air 12 midday tomorrow through till 4:30 right here again on British Athletics TV. So we will bring you up to date live with what's happening very shortly. I'll give you some of the headlines that we can look forward to over the course of the next 3.5 hours or so. There have been a couple of titles already decided here this afternoon, which have both been on the field. We're going to start with the men's triple jump, in fact, and let you know what happened with that a little bit earlier on, where there was a repeat, in fact, of last year's success. Julian Reid, the Birchfield Harrier, took the title for the second year in a row, 16 metres and 87 centimetres, a new personal best, ahead of Nathan Fox and Daniel Lewis, silver and bronze respectively for Shaftesbury Barnet. Well, the one thing that has had the English Institute of Sport rocking so far today has been the women's high jump, a cracking competition, the medals very closely fought out, and we had not only a new British record but a massive new personal best as well for the rising star, the new darling, I suppose, of British athletics, and that is Katarina Johnson-Thompson. Look at that at the top of that caption, 1 metre and 96. Her previous personal best was 188, so a new massive personal best and a new massive new British record for Katarina Johnson-Thompson, 196, her first senior indoors, and she takes the title ahead of Jane Nisbet. Worth pointing out that her 187 for the silver was a new Scottish record, and Isabel Pooley from Aldershot Farnham District with the bronze, season's best for her of 187 as well. So that's the two titles that have been decided already today. Julian Reid in the triple jump and Katarina Johnson-Thompson in the women's high jump. The first live action we're going to bring you very shortly will be the women's pole vault, the start list comprising 21 athletes, which is a huge field. Fantastic progress, I guess, for still an emerging event, the women's pole vault. Lots of young talent in this field, as we say, 21 in total. There's page one, at least, of a few, which will let you know some of the standout athletes are taking part today. Sally Peake of Birchfield, 2/3 of the way down that, second on the UK rankings so far this season. She'll be one who'll be in contention for a medal. As we scroll down, hopefully to page number 2, Holly Bleasdale, of course, the overwhelming favourite. She's going for her 4th title. Missed out through injury for a large part of last year, but she is going for her 4th UK title. 4.71 metres she jumped in Dresden just last week. So back from injury and back in form, Holly Bleasdale, who'll be taking part in the women's pole vault, which is due to get underway in around about 6 or 7 minutes' time. We'll scroll to page number 2 of the women's pole vault. There's Holly Bleasdale, 4 from the top, who is, as we say, the clear favourite. Katie Byers, an up-and-coming athlete, formerly part of the same training group as Holly Bleasdale from Sale. Just one DNS there, Abigail Hayward. Does not go, but apart from that, that is the complete lineup, all 21 competitors for the women's pole vault, which will be the first live action that will bring you very shortly indeed. Other things to look forward to coming up very soon. We have the semi-finals of the men's and women's 60 metres. No real shocks in that. The likes of James Dasaolu, Dwayne Chambers safely through in the men's event. The likes of Asher Phillip, the defending champion, Dina Asher-Smith, and others also safely through in the women's event. There was one unfortunate disqualification. The promising teenager Sophie Paps was disqualified in the heats, so her campaign ending. But a packed house here at the EIS in Sheffield have been enjoying what they've seen, and it's certainly the place to be with the current weather knocking around. Hope it's safe and dry where you are and you're in the right place with us on day one of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. Still to come as well, we have the 60-metre hurdles, which will be joining the finals rather a little bit later on of the men's event. The heats have just been going on behind us in the last few minutes. We'll let you know who is safely through. The timings, if you want to know, for the men's and women's 60-metre finals, the women's final, that is 5:10, that is due off in the 60 metres, followed by the men's 60-metre final at 5:20. But the semi-finals will be coming up in the next 15 or 20 minutes. So the semi-finals and the men's and women's 60 metres will be the next action on the track. Men's long jump is not too far away. Unfortunately, we don't have the 7-times champion or 6-times champion Chris Tomlinson, who would have been going for his 7th title today. So that makes JJ Jegaday the big favourite for the men's long jump. Other ones to look out for, of course, we'll keep you up to date as we come to the start list a little bit later on. As hopefully you noticed on the slide before we joined you with our live coverage, there are ways to get in touch with us today. It's at Brit Athletics on Twitter. Send it with a hashtag Indoor Champs, and you can communicate with the team and with us here at the EIS as well. So it's at Brit Athletics on Twitter and hashtag Indoor Champs if you do want to be a part of day one of this Sainsbury's British Indoor Athletics Championships. This is the 10th year here in Sheffield, the 58th British Indoor Championships. Of course, at RAF Cosford, the home for quite some time. 27 stagings at RAF Cosford, 11 at the NIA in Birmingham, a couple at Wembley Empire, one at Cardiff University. But this is the home for 10 years now at the EIS in Sheffield. And over the course of the weekend, we have 12 reigning champions who've been back to defend their titles. The biggest ever domestic indoor championships, with over 400 athletes from right across Britain taking part over the couple of days. Tomorrow, of course, included as well. As well as it being British titles up for grabs, of course, there are places on the plane to Sopot in Poland and the World Indoor Championships, which take place from the 7th to the 9th of March. That's on live on BBC television. So qualification for the World Indoors in Sopot in Poland is, of course, also in these athletes' mind, as well as the prestigious British titles that are up for grabs. So the pole vault athletes will be introduced to us very shortly indeed. I can just bring you up to date with a couple of the men's 60-metre hurdles results that have just taken place. Will Sharman, no problems for him in qualification, 7.68, winning heat number 1. Heat number 2, Nick Gale, 7.86, the winner, easily qualifying along with David Omarigi of Cardiff, up-and-coming talent. And Andy Pozzi, good to see him back from injury as well. He was the winner of heat number 3 in the 60-metre hurdles. So the men's final 60-metre hurdles heat has just taken place. So we'll have the 60 metres for women very shortly. The semi-finals will be on the way. And there's the crowd who are enjoying themselves. They've been requesting music. You can request some songs as well by Twitter, at Brit Athletics, hashtag Indoor Champs. Wherever you're watching across the UK, tell us who you're supporting. Tell us where you're watching from. Maybe you're watching from somewhere far afield. Hopefully you'll stay with us for the course of the next 3.5 hours or so. My name's Chris Temple, taking you through both today and tomorrow's action. So the competitors just beginning to get themselves in position for the women's 60 metres semi-finals. And we'll have the start list for those very shortly indeed. So 3 heats for the women's 60 metre semi-finals. That's the start list for heat number 1. It's the first 2 in each heat, plus the 2 fastest qualifiers, fastest losers who will go through. And of course the ones to keep an eye on there, particularly in the centre, lane number 4, Asher Phillip, the defending champion from Newham and Essex Beagles. Qualified in 7.33, won her heat. And maybe if she's in decent form, which she has been, her stadium record of 7.15 could be under threat today. Her own stadium record from winning this competition last year, Asher Phillip. So she in lane number 4 will be the standout athlete, I'm sure, in semi-final number 1, which is coming up shortly. Dina Asher-Smith, she will go in heat number 2, by the way. The exciting teenager. And Jodie Williams, who was the fastest qualifier, she goes in heat number 3. So we're about to meet the lineup then for heat number 1, semi-final number 1 in the women's 60 metres. So you'll be better to pick up some stadium ambience as well, I'm sure. Our commentators in the arena, Jeff Whiteman and John Rawling today. We're about to meet the athletes for the first of the semi-finals. So there we go, in lane number 1. That's Tamara Miller, the 18-year-old. Representing the Birmingham Racing Athletics and Triathlon Club. That's Charlotte Wingfield from Enfield and Haringey Harriers, just 19. The best this year of 7.65. Lane 3, Mika Moore, representing Cardiff. 7:51 this year for her in the early stages of 2014. There's the defending champion. The red bibs, by the way, that's the power of 10 leaders leading the UK rankings. The defending champion, 7:33 she ran to win her heat. Asha Phillip for Newham Essex Beagles. Bianca Williams is in lane 5, Enfield and Haringey Harrier. Then another exciting talent for the future, the 17-year-old Shannon Hilton of Blackheath and Bromley. Next to her, representing Birchfield, Abby Tyson. Just outside her personal best of 7:52 this year. And completing the lineup on the outside from the city of Norwich, Cleo Stevenson. And again, just 18 years of age. So 4 teenagers in this lineup of 8. This is heat number 1 of the women's 60 metres semi-finals. The first 2 past the 2 fastest losers across all 3 heats. So where they go, Asha Phillip out pretty well with Bianca Williams alongside her on the inside. It's Miller going well, but Asha Phillip streaking away, wins this easily. Bianca Williams in second, looked like Shannon Hilton probably got third. So the first 2 qualifying by right, Asha Phillips and Bianca Williams safely through to the 60 metres women's final. And that takes place at 10 past 5 this evening. Broad smile from Asha Phillip, and 7.16 is the unofficial winning time, which is just 100th of a second outside Asha Phillip's own stadium record from last year. So waiting for that confirmation of that time, but 7.16 seconds, the unofficial winning time for Asha Phillip in semi-final number 1. And confirmed, 7 seconds, 0.16. Asha Phillip confirmed with that winning time, a season's best for her. Bianca Williams was second, 7:44, and Shannon Hilton third, 7:54. That's the 1, 2, 3. Phillip and Williams, the 2 automatic qualifiers by right. Misha Moore for Cardiff, 7:61 in 4th. So shortly we'll take you to the early stages of the women's pole vault competition as well, if you're following anybody in particular in that. 21 athletes taking part in the women's pole vault straight final today. We'll take you to the early stages of that very shortly, once these 60-metre semi-finals are done and through. The athletes just coming out and limbering up. The 60-metre track, of course, across the centre of your picture there. The pole vault just going on at the top of the picture, underneath the big English Institute of Sport Sheffield sign, top left of your screen. And you might be able to see the athletes as well, just running through the shop, preparing for the men's long jump. But there's the competitors for semi-final 2 in the women's 60 metres. We'll confirm the full rundown of results, by the way, on the screen very shortly indeed. So if you're just joining us, maybe you tuned in a little bit late, a reminder, a new British record in the women's high jump for Katarina Johnson-Thompson, 1:96, a new British record, a Scottish record in second for Jane Nisbet, 1:87, and Isabel Pooley took the bronze, 1:87 as well. That was the result in the women's high jump. In the men's triple jump, the other final that's been decided already, it was Julian Reid for the 2nd year in succession. Worth pointing out too, we mentioned about the qualification for Sopot and the World Indoor Championships, which take place. They, of course, all athletes have to have the qualifying mark, whether it be a time, a distance or a height. The winner only is automatically selected as long as they do have the qualifying standard. So only the winner is automatically selected for Sopot. Two athletes can be taken to Sopot in each event, apart from the relay 4x4, which they can take up to 6 athletes. The selectors do have some discretion, and the team will be announced after next weekend's Sainsbury's Indoor Grand Prix in Birmingham. So keep your eye out for that. The winner automatically, as long as they have got the qualifying time, goes through to Sopot. Worth pointing out, by the way, as we're in the 60-metre zone at the moment. The qualifying standard for Sopot is 7:32, which the likes of Asher Phillip have already comfortably achieved. So competitors just getting ready for semi-final number 2. Just having a look in lane number 7 there. Looks like an empty lane, which looks like Shauna Thompson of Sale is going to be does not start in this second semi-final, but we'll confirm that in just a moment. Personal best, by the way, for Tamara Miller in the last 60-metre semi, 7:65. Cleo Stevenson, 7:74. Charlotte Wingfield, 7:82. Again, in case any of those individual athletes are of interest to you watching us on British Athletics TV here on day 1 of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. So let's have a look then at the start list for semi-final 2 in the women's 60 metres, just before we meet the athletes. So there it is, 1, 2, 8, and confirm that Shauna Thompson in lane 7 is a DNS. We'll meet them individually now. So Dina Asher-Smith, 7:34 in her heat to come through comfortably. So lane 1 representing Croydon, that's Twinell Hopeson. Lane 2, there was a personal best in the heat for 17-year-old Charisse Hilton of Blackheath and Bromley. Her clubmate alongside her, there's Dina Asher-Smith, 18 years of age. Lane 4, Adeline Gounon of the Ivory Coast. Remember, this is an open meeting, although obviously only British qualified athletes can take the British title. It is an open meeting, so there are some guests from overseas. Nicola Gilbert is next from Enfield and Haringey in lane number 5. Annabelle Lewis from Kingston upon Hull. Shauna Thompson isn't in lane 7, a DNS. And Marilyn Enwawula from Harrow in lane 8, completing semi-final 2. Remember, it's the first 2. So Dina Asher-Smith away well. Annabelle Lewis as well going well out in lane number 6, but it's Asher-Smith from Lewis, and those two will qualify comfortably. Dina Asher-Smith, 7.22 unofficially for Dina Asher-Smith and Annabelle Lewis, the two automatic qualifiers through to this evening's final in the women's 60 metres. And we'll wait for confirmation on that time, but 7:22, if that is correct, if that is confirmed, that is a new personal best for Asher-Smith. 7:31 was her best before today. We'll wait for that to be confirmed very shortly, but a safe passage through for the 18-year-old Dina Asher-Smith. So all of those you would expect to go through have gone through so far. Another couple of DQs, by the way, to mention from earlier on. Shayna Cox in the women's 400 metres was disqualified, having won her heat. And also Michael Bingham was also disqualified in the men's 400 metres. And as I mentioned earlier, in case you're looking out for Sophie Paps, who started the year in good form, she was also disqualified for a false start in her heat. Confirmation of a new personal best for Dina Asher-Smith at 7.22 seconds. Annabelle Lewis, 7:35 in second for Kingston upon Hull. A season's best. Those are the two automatic qualifiers, and Enwawula from Harrow got third. Let's confirm the results from heat number 1, semi-final number 1, I should say then, in the women's 60 metres. Asher Phillip, 7.16, and Bianca Williams, 7.44, the two safely through. Shannon Hilton will have to wait and see if her 7.54 is good enough to be one of the two fastest losers across all 3 heats. Jodie Williams was the fastest qualifier. She goes next in semi-final number 3. So then on the tracks, we've got the likes of Laura Muir, who set a brilliant Scottish record, of course, in Glasgow. She's going to go in the women's 800 metres. She doesn't run in the 1500 metres. She had entered both, but she's due to only run the 800 metres over the course of the weekend. Men's 1500 metres, that's off at 5:30. The men's 3000 metres, where the likes of Andy Vernon could challenge Mo Farah's stadium record. That's due off at 5 to 6. The women's 400 metre semi-finals are at 6:15. The likes of Ailey Child and Victoria Urugu safely through in that event as well. Men's 400 metres, Nigel Levine was a typically comfortable winner of his heat. The semi-finals of the men's 400, 6:30. And our last event today on the track is the women's 1500 metre heats. That's due at 6:45. The women's pole vault with 21 competitors, of course, will be going on for some time. We'll keep you abreast of that. We'll be dipping in and out of the pole vault throughout the course of the next couple of hours. Just to let you know, by the way, in the women's pole vault, Holly Bleasdale has passed her way through to 4:46. That will be her opening height in the pole vault. A few athletes have gone clear already in the pole vault, starting at 3.61 meters, the opening height. Olivia Curran, Sally Scott, Georgia Pickles, Claire Blunt, Lindsay Maund, among those who've gone clear early on. Abigail Roberts as well, also going clear at the opening height of 3.61. You can follow British Athletics, of course, in many ways, not just via our YouTube channel here, which you can subscribe to for the latest news and views and features throughout the course of the year, but also our Facebook page has lots of similar bits and bobs to interact with. Facebook.com/British Athletics is the place to be, and you may have seen the publicity in the run-up to this championships as well, that we have the small matter of the European under-23 100-metre champion. Adam Jamili is going to be our trackside reporter tomorrow. So he's going to be on the other side of the mix zone, if you like. He's going to have the microphone in his hand, chatting to his fellow athletes. So that's sure to be entertaining. Adam joins us tomorrow to do the trackside interviews. So there's the start list for semi-final 3 of 3. Jodie Williams, as we say, in lane number 5. For the Hearts Phoenix Club, the 20-year-old hasn't competed since Moscow, the World Outdoor Championships. So Megan Holt for Kingston upon Hull goes in lane number 1. A best this year, her personal best of 7:73. Deanne Walker for Birchfield, 7:64 athlete this year. Rachel Johncock for Swansea in lane number 3, 7:40 for her so far this year. Amy Foster from Ireland. Her best this year is 7:36, she's up with the best in this field. Jodie Williams, there she is. 7:32, her fastest this year in her first competition of the year, of course. Makes sense. A rising star in 5, next to a seasoned campaigner, still doing it at the top level, Montel Douglas, 28 years of age. Another for Blackheath and Bromley. Amma Pepe, Enfield and Haringey in the red and yellow. Just 18 years of age. And on the outside, Laura Turner-Allain, as she's known these days, at 31 years of age. So that's your lineup then for the third and final semi-final. Again, the first 2 automatically through. So starter not happy. So just a green card, a faulty start. So something the starter wasn't quite happy with. No athletes infringing there, so the field will remain intact. Holt in 1, Walker in 2, Johncock 3, Foster 4, Jodie Williams 5, Douglas 6, PP 7, and Turner Elaine left of shot, lane 8. So away they go this time. Good start by PP in lane number 7. Jodie Williams has got some work to do here, and it's Johncock from Swansea, but they've come through late. Douglas and then Jodie Williams. Douglas just getting on the line. The 2, 3rd and 4th, though. Amy Foster and Rachel Johncock may well be in the mix for fastest loser spot. 7:29, the unofficial winning time for Montel Douglas. Just pipping Jodie Williams on the line, who had some work to do, didn't she, about 30 metres out, but managed to dig in and come through the field. Excellent start from Rachel Johncock, the Swansea Harrier in lane 3. And she'll have to wait and see whether she's one of the 2 fastest losers across all 3 heats. But Montel Douglas safely through. And that women's 60-metre final, remember, takes place at 5:10. 7:29, a season's best for Montel Douglas, confirmed as her winning time. Jodie Williams, 7.32 seconds, confirmed as a second qualifier. Let's have a look at the results. A confirmed result of semi-final number 2. The previous race, Dina Asher-Smith, 7:22 PB. At the top of the pile, Annabelle Lewis, the 2 you'd expect to have qualified from that heat, doing so. 7:35 for Annabelle Lewis, a best in these early stages of 2014. So next on the track will be the men's 60-metre semi-finals. They come next. And again, all the top guys you'd expect, the likes of James Dasa-Olu, Dwayne Chambers, Harry Akins-Ariti, and some of the up-and-coming talents, the likes of Chidindu Uja, who ran a PB in the heat of 6:61. All of those are safely through. Dasa-Olu goes in the first heat, along with Uja. Dwayne Chambers goes alongside James Ellington, the likes of Sean Safo-Antwi in the second heat, and Harry Akins-Ariti, Danny Talbot, Oji Edeburan, as well, an exciting teenager. They go in the 3rd and final heat. So that's the next on the track, the men's 60 metres. We'll pick up the pole vault shortly as well, the early stages of that. And again, quite a few athletes still in the very early stages at 3 metres and 61 the bar. Confirmation of the men's 60-metre hurdles line up for the final, which is due off just before 5 o'clock as well. Again, all of the big names: Will Sharman, Nick Gale, Andy Pozzi, David Omaregi, all through. Must take this moment, by the way, to thank all of our sponsors, our title and major events partner, Sainsbury's, the official partner of the British Para-Athletics team as well, the National Lottery, another one of our official partners, Nike, our official kit supplier, MG, Polar, Saka, our water supplier, UK Sport, of course, our official funding partner, and our local partners here in South Yorkshire, Sheffield City Council and Sheffield International Venues as well. A big thanks to all of them for their part in the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships, as well as supporting throughout the year. And don't forget, next week, live on BBC television, that's the Sainsbury's Indoor Grand Prix, live from the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. 8 World Champions from Moscow, 6 Olympic champions from London, all in the field. So then, men's 60 metres we turn to next, and that is the start list for semi-final number 1. James Dasa-Olu. Lane 5, the man in form who coasted through his heat. So a man maybe more familiar with longer distances, the experienced Conrad Williams. Ronnie Wells of Taunton AC, 17-year-old. Personal best is 6:86. Another name to keep an eye on for the future. John Ottegardi in the familiar black and white stripes of Shaftesbury Barnet. Then the fastest qualifier, Chijindu Uja, a PB in the heat of 6:61. He's alongside James Dasaolu in his Great Britain vest, but representing Croydon, the red bib of the Power of 10 rankings leader as well. The defending champion. He dead heated actually, Dasaolu in the heats with this man, Aidan Sayers of Newham and Essex Beagles, who ran a personal best in that heat. Marvin Papula from Herne Hill, another of the 18-year-old rising stars. And competing the lineup on the outside, Dowie Hammond of Bromsgrove and Redditch, another one who marked a new PB in the heats. Again, as with the women's, first two automatically qualify, plus two fastest losers for the final at 5:20. So where they go, Dasaolu into his running now, Uja right alongside him. Dasaolu and Uja again side by side as they were in the heats. Just probably Dasaolu will get confirmation on that. 6:58, the winning time for James Dasaolu. Safely through, Chijindu Uja through as well. Those are the two automatic qualifiers. The rest we'll have to wait and see. But James Dasaolu looking as calm and as relaxed as ever. And the defending champion is safely into the final at 5:20. Dwayne Chambers goes in the next heat, by the way, the five-time champion who's never lost a race here at the EIS in Sheffield. His heat win made it 16 unbeaten. Let's just confirm the results of semi-final number 3 in the women's 60 metres. A raft of season's best there and a PB for Rachel Johncock. Reward for a good run from her in 4th, but Montel Douglas and Jodie Williams, the two automatic qualifiers. And we'll confirm the fastest losers for you as soon as we have them. But Douglas and Williams through by right to this evening's final. 6.58, Dasaolu confirmed as the winner of that heat. 6.59 for Chijindu Uja of Enfield. That's a personal best for him, and also a personal best in 3rd for John Ottegardi of Shaftesbury, 6.73. So the men's long jump competitors are just about to be introduced to the crowd. We'll see that competition get underway very shortly indeed. A reminder, Julian Reid on the long jump on the triple jump runway earlier defended his title. JJ Jeggedy will be the man with no Chris Tomlinson in the field today. JJ Jeggedy will be the warm favourite, a winner of course in the international match in Glasgow a couple of weeks back. Jumped 7.98 in Vienna as well, the Newham and Essex Beagle. Dan Bramble of Shaftesbury Barnet, Oliver Newport from Blackheath and Bromley. JJ Jeggedy will be introduced to the crowd next. Daniel Gardner from the city of Sheffield, 7.42 a PB, he's next. But JJ Jeggedy, the only athlete close to 8 metres. Dan Bramble has the second biggest PB in the field of 7 metres 80. There's the confirmed result of the first semi-final in the men's 60 metres. Dasaolu 6.58, Uja 6.59, the two automatic qualifiers, and Ottegardi in 3rd with 6.73. He will have to wait and see if he goes through as a fastest loser. So Ferran Sayers, Michael Corza, Felix Maisie Curtis and Alan Hamilton complete the lineup for the men's long jump. So those are the competitors for semi-final 2 in the men's 60 metres. Dwayne Chambers in the centre in the burgundy of Belgrave Harriers. Goes in lane number 5. The exciting 23-year-old Sean Safo Antwi alongside Dwayne Chambers in this second heat. Looking to join Dasaolu and Ujar in the final at 5:20. There's the full start list. Miller, Hurley, Ellington in 3. Outdoor champion, British champion over 200, of course.
On the track now, the second semi-final of the men's 60 metres. First 2 to qualify.
In the blue and red then, lane number 1 for Preston Harriers, that's Sam Miller. 6.84 his personal best, set this year. For Leeds City next, 18-year-old Elliot Hurley. James Ellington, there he is, the outdoor 200-metre British champion. Didn't run indoors last year, so unfamiliar territory for him in recent times. Andre Wright for Medway and Maidstone in Kent is in lane number 4. There's the 5 times British indoor champion, Dwayne Chambers. 16 races unbeaten here at the EIS. Missed last year with an injury, which allowed Dasaolu to claim the title. Sean Safo Antwi in his England vest, but representing Enfield and Haringey Harriers. Set a PB at Lee Valley in the early part of the year. Confidence Lawson, black and white of Shaftesbury Barnet, lane 7. And the Liverpool Harrier Oliver Back on the outside completes the lineup for semi-final number 2 of the men's 60 metres. And again, the first 2 qualify automatically. Final 5:20. Full start. Looked like Confidence Lawson got away well in lane 7, but was it too well? We'll wait to see what the starter made of that. But it's going to be heartbreak, I think, for somebody. I can confirm, by the way, while we're waiting for those athletes to be reset, the qualifiers for the women's 60 metres final. Philip, Asher Smith, Douglas, Williams, Lewis and Bianca Williams, along with Jodie Williams, were the automatic qualifiers, and the 2 fastest losers for the women's 60 metre final, Amy Foster and Rachel Johncock, have both gone through to the final. So we'll wait for the starter's verdict there on that full start. No cards have been administered as yet. And it was Confidence Lawson, unfortunately, who probably knew, I'm sure, in his heart of hearts. And it was just about noticeable on the naked eye on the first shot that Confidence Lawson in lane 7 is disqualified, which leaves a field of 7. Miller on the inside, Hurley, Ellington, Wright, Chambers, Safo Antwi and Back. Safo Antwi was away well in the white alongside Dwayne Chambers, who's got some work to do here, but Chambers starting to come through now. Safo Antwi and Chambers very, very close on the line. James Ellington in 3rd as well. We'll wait for the photograph to sort that one out. But Chambers, the 35-year-old, and a star of the future, Safo Antwi alongside him. Not split by much there. 6:57, the winning time, depending on who got the nod. A rueful look from Dwayne Chambers, a hint of a smile. He knows either way that he's safely through to the final as one of the 2 automatic qualifiers. But did he get the nod on the line? We will confirm that as soon as we have it for you. Dwayne Chambers is the British record holder, by the way, at 6:42. The stadium record, as I mentioned earlier on, is potentially up for grabs today. That has stood for 10 years, since this very weekend, 10 years ago. Jason Gardner, 6:49 is the stadium record here at the EIS. But if Dasa Olu or Chambers, or maybe somebody else in the final, is at full tilt, that 6:49 is surely under threat. Time now just after 4:10. Good afternoon if you've recently joined us. Welcome to British Athletics TV and welcome to the EIS in Sheffield. Day 1 of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. Already seen a British record in the women's high jump for Katarina Johnson-Thompson. And I can tell you another dead heat in the men's 60 metres confirmed. The same time, Dwayne Chambers and Sean Sappho-Antwi have both been given 6:59. That's a PB for Sappho-Antwi. So those two literally couldn't be split on the line. We'll take you to the early stages of the long jump in just a moment. James Ellington, by the way, 6:67, a personal best for him in 3rd. He'll have to wait and see. We have one more semi-final to come in the men's 60 metres, featuring Harry Akins-Ariti, Richard Kilty, Danny Talbot, amongst others. So Ellington 6:67, by the way, is on the long jump runway. We have Daniel Gardner from the city of Sheffield. 6:67 has Ellington as the fastest loser so far. But on the long jump, this is on the long jump runway, Daniel Gardner from the city of Sheffield. The leader so far, JJ Jegley opening up with 7:66. Dan Bramble, 7:48. And Oliver Newport, 7:19. Those are the 3 men to have registered marks so far. This is the opening round in the men's long jump then for Dan Gardner from Sheffield, local athlete. Looks just over 7 metres for Daniel Gardner. And he's got the white flag, so that will be a legitimate jump. So athletes gathering for the 3rd and final semi-final in the men's 60 metres. As we wait for Gardner's distance to come up. So that's the lineup for the 3rd and final semi-final then. The men's 60 metres. Akins-Ariti in 4. Edaburan in 5. 7 metres 4 for Gardner in the long jump. Danny Talbot in lane 6.
It's the 3rd semi-final of the men's 60 metres. Starting in lane 1.
For Cardiff then, Sam Gordon, a best of 6:86. Another local athlete then, Ben Shields, city of Sheffield. Before today, Richard Kilty was the fastest in this field with his 6:63. Harry AA alongside him in the best of the South, but from the Sutherland District Club, 6:69 for him so far in 2014. Oji Edaburan representing Shaftesbury, just 17 years of age. Then the Birchfield Harrier, Danny Talbot, 6:67 this year. Another of the teenagers, 18-year-old Max Mondelli from Hercules Wimbledon. And Scott Bajira from Bristol and West completes the lineup on the outside in lane 8. Another full start. Aikin-Zariti got a good start in 4. Which has just been reflected as well by my colleague John Rawling, announcing in the arena. So again, we'll have a nervous wait for the whole field, but potentially a nervous one for Harry Aikin-Zariti. Does he look guilty? You decide. So a reset. Ferran Sayers, by the way, in the long jump, opening up with 7:35 for Birchfield Harriers. Jeggedy, the early leader, the warm favourite, 7:66 as we come towards the end of the first round. Long jump just being held while we wait for this 60 metres to be reset. We'll wait for the communication. It's Harry Aikin-Zariti who is disqualified. He doesn't think he infringed, but again, looking at the naked eye, that was my first reaction. So the electronic timing devices that time the reaction times of the athletes, Harry Aikin-Zariti was too fast to be legal. So potentially one of the big guns in the final is out. So a chance for somebody else. Gordon, Shields, Kilty. Then the vacant now lane 4. Edaburen, Talbot, Mondelli and Bajira. The third and final semi-final in the men's 60 metres. So away clean this time. Good start from Danny Talbot in lane number 6, and it's probably just Talbot, but Kilty now coming through on the inside. Kilty and Talbot are the 2 automatic qualifiers, just ahead of Edaburen in lane number 5. 6.58, the winning time. And Richard Kilty, if that is confirmed, will be a new personal best. We said he was the fastest in the field coming into this weekend, Richard Kilty. And it could well be a new personal best if that is confirmed for the Gateshead Harrier. Remember, James Ellington was the previous fastest loser with 6:67, so that winning time of 6:58, you would imagine that the losers in this heat are going to struggle to get through, and it is confirmed. A PB for Richard Kilty, 6.58 seconds. He is through, and Danny Talbot as well, through to the final, 20 past 5, 6:62 for Danny Talbot in second. And that'll mean very soon we'll be able to confirm the full lineup for you for the men's 60 metres final. Next on the track, by the way, at 20 past 4, so not too far away, running a few minutes behind schedule after a couple of full starts, will be the heats of the women's 800 metres. OG Edaburen, 6:71 in third. A personal best. Let's confirm the results from the second semi-final, not the one we've just seen, but the previous one. Dwayne Chambers and Sean Sappho Antwi given us a dead heat for first place, 6:59, so that officially means Dwayne Chambers' unbeaten record is now stretched to 17 races. Sappho Antwi in second. James Ellington looks like on course to make it through as a fastest loser. Andre Wright isn't going to make it through, but we'll confirm those fastest losers for you very shortly. So women's 800 metre heats, you can just see the competitors at the bottom of your screen there, just starting to limber up. We have 4 heats in the women's 800 metres. The final is tomorrow, by the way. And the qualifying standard for Sopot in this event is 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Last year's winner, Claire Tarpley, who competes for Ireland, so therefore isn't eligible for the Great Britain team and not eligible to win the British title today. She goes in this first heat. Laura Muir, bang in form. She goes in the second of the 4 heats. Jenny Meadows, great to see her back. 32-year-old, struggled, of course, last year with those Achilles and thigh injuries that ruined her Olympics and ruined her World Championships as well. She goes in the third of the 4 heats.
First round completed in the long jump, and leading away with 7:66 is JJ Jeggedy.
Alan Hamilton, by the way, in the long jump, 7:08 first round. JJ Jeggedy, the leader, 7:66 in round 1. So we'll look at the start list then for the women's 800 metres. And it's only the winner of each heat in this event that is guaranteed to go through. That's your start list for heat 1 of 4. Claire Tarpley, last year's winner, goes in lane 2. Some journey for Emma Leask from Shetland in lane 1.
Next up is the heats of the women's 800 metres.
So 4 laps of this indoor arena. That's Emma Leask from Shetland, 20 years of age. A seasonal appearance for her. First appearance of the season. There's Claire Tarpley, representing the Solihull club. 25 years of old. Nisha Desai from Trafford. Emily Jenkinson for Southampton. Those familiar red and white stripes. Familiar if you're a football fan, familiar if you're an athletics fan. Formerly known as Team Solent, of course. Shalana Oskin-Clark from Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. And the final athlete on the outside, that's Birchfield's Callie Reid. So 4 laps, and the first person across the line is guaranteed to go through, plus the 2 fastest losers across all 4 heats. The women's 800 metres here at the Sainsbury's British Indoor Athletics Championships. So away they go, and as we saw in the men's races, just before we came on to air live here on the British Athletics TV YouTube stream, people were starting to make their moves around about halfway, but as we look, it's Claire Tarpley's the one to keep an eye on in the yellow. She's the fastest in the field, but leading them out early, it's Shalana Oskin-Clark in the blue and yellow of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. Callie Reid of Birchfield settling into second. On the inside, Desai of Trafford, then Jenkinson, red and white of Southampton on the outside. Tarpley in the yellow just nestling in at the back, and Emma Leask of Shetland. The final of the 6 as they go past with 3 laps to go. We'll confirm those men's semi-final results for you, including fastest losers, by the way, as soon as we have them. So if you're standing by for those, we'll be able to get them to you shortly. As they go down the back straight. Still in the early stages, Oskin-Clark from Callie Reid, Jenkinson, Tarpley, Desai and Leask at the back of this field. So behind Claire Tarpley, the next fastest in the field is Callie Reid. Personal best of just outside 2:06, so she on the shoulder of the leader at the moment. 2 laps to go, so halfway through. And still Oskin-Clark for Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. Callie Reid, tall, rangy athlete. Claire Tarpley in third. The final of this tomorrow, by the way. It's part of an exciting second day. The women's 800 metre final, 3:25 tomorrow afternoon, if you have a particular interest in this race, as they come round to take the bell on this occasion. Callie Reid looks poised to strike as Oskin-Clark leads them through. Reid, though, and Tarpley looking strong on the inside, is going to go past Reid, right on the curb. Jenkinson in 4th, and now Desai and Leask just losing touch at the back of the field, but it's still Oskin-Clark who's led from the gun so far, and Callie Reid just fading in 3rd. Remember, only the winner is automatically got guaranteed qualification, and now Tarpley moves up on the shoulder. Oskin-Clark, though, repelling the challenge at the moment. The Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow athlete is out front, and she's holding off Claire Tarpley at the moment, and Shalana Oskin-Clark is going to take this, and she is the automatic qualifier from heat number 1, ahead of Tarpley. Callie Reid 3rd, then comes Desai. Jenkinson and Leask will complete the field. 2 minutes 8 dead, as you can see from the clock across your screen there, for the winner. Gun to tape victory for Shalana Oskin-Clark of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. A foul for JJ Jeggedy, by the way. Foul for all 3 athletes in round 2 so far. Bramble, Newport and Jeggedy have all fouled in the long jump. Let's go to the results from the 3rd and final semi-final of the men's 60 metres. Richard Kilty, 6:52. A personal best for the first 3 there. Danny Talbot, the second qualifier, 6:62. Still waiting for the final qualifiers. In fact, I think we can now bring that to you. We can. So the men's final at 5:20 will consist of Dasa Olu, Kilty, Chambers, Safo Antwi, Uja, Talbot, and Ellington and Edaburen are the 2 fastest losers. Otto Gardi and Sayers just missing out. That is a stacked men's 60 metre final at 5:20. That should be a cracker. 2 minutes 8 dead. Confirmed as Oskin-Clark's winning time, 2:08.39 for Claire Tarpley, and Callie Reid was 3rd, 2:11.70. Reminder of that lineup, by the way, I can give you the lane lineup as well for the women's 60-metre final. Amy Foster will have lane 1, Rachel Johncock will be in 2, Phillip in 3, Jodie Williams in 4, Montel Douglas 5, Dina Asher-Smith will be in 6, Bianca Williams in 7, and Annabelle Lewis in lane 8. That's for the women's 60-metre final at 5:10, which is 45 minutes away. Remember, you can stay in touch with us, get in touch with us via Twitter. Our media team, right across that, is at Brit Athletics, to follow us for the latest news and updates on today's events and everything to do with British athletics. And if you are communicating, supporting somebody, or where you're watching today, make sure you put #IndoorChamps. Follow us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/British Athletics. So here's the start list then for the second heat in the women's 800 metres. And on the outside, lane number 6, one of the informed athletes in the country, Laura Muir, just 20 years of age, a Scottish record in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago of 2 minutes .94, coached by Andy Young. We start on the inside with Leah Barrow, clubmate of our winner of the previous heat, Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. More red and white of Southampton, this time it's Jenny Beckingham. Cambridge and Coleridge represented in lane 3 by Holly Parker. Lane 4 for Coventry Godiva, Rowena Cole. Next for Cheltenham, Julia Cook in lane number 5. And there's Laura Muir wearing the red bib as the Power of 10 UK rankings leader currently. Stepping down to 800 metres after that fine performances over 1,500 metres as well. She's already qualified for Scotland for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in the 1,500 metres, but it's 800 metres focusing her in Sheffield this weekend. Muir on the outside, only the winner automatically through. So where they go, Muir on the outside. Maisie Curtis just jumping into the long jump pit at the bottom of the screen there. A steady start from Laura Muir on the outside as they break down the back straight. And early on, going towards the front, it's Rowena Cole of Coventry Godiva. Julia Cook, Cheltenham, just tucking in behind. Laura Muir on the outside. Right on the inside, it's Holly Parker of Cambridge. And at the back of the field at the moment, Jenny Beckingham of Southampton, just behind Leah Barrow. So as they come past, 4 laps of the track, of course. And it's Cole from Cook. Muir on the outside. A best of 2 minutes .94. That's her season's best. That she'll need a good time to get through as a fastest loser, but no problems at all for Laura Muir in securing automatic qualification for the final of the women's 800 metres tomorrow. Update from the long jump, by the way. Into second place is Felix Maisie Curtis after the completion of round 2. He's jumped 7.63, so he's just 3 centimetres behind JJ Jeggedy, who is the leader after 2 complete rounds in the long jump with 7.66. Maisie Curtis 7.63 and Bramble 7.48, the top 3. So first heat result from the women's 800 metres. And it was Shaylana Oscan-Clark who took the automatic qualifying berth, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And Claire Tarpley, last year's winner, will need to wait and see if she's a fastest loser. So heat 3 coming up very shortly, which will see a very welcome return to action, as we say, for Jenny Meadows. A lifetime best of 158.4. But of course, just happy to be back on the track. And you'll see the athletes at the bottom of the shot. Let's update you on the pole vault as well while we're waiting for the competitors to get themselves organised in the third heat. So in the pole vault, 381 the bar is currently at. Abigail Roberts has gone clear first time at 381. There's Jenny Meadows. Those trademark sunglasses, even indoors. People get used to their ways, don't they, and stick with them. It's not that bright in here, I can tell you. The sun was out in Sheffield earlier on. It's been the weather up here in the north has been a far cry from the south, if you've been in the south of England. I travelled up from yesterday. So the competitors just assembling themselves. Also clear in the pole vault, by the way. Sally Scott clear at 381. Also Courtney Maguire. Katie James is clear at 381, and so is Rachel Gibbons as well. And Henrietta Paxton, they're all clear at 381. Holly Bleasdale not coming in till 446. So these are the competitors getting ready for heat 3 of the women's 800 metres. And again, apart from Jenny Meadows, the next oldest, Jenny Meadows is 32, the next oldest in this field is 21. That's Rachel McClay. So a big gulf in age and experience between Meadows and the rest of this field. Sophie Billington of Luton, she's just 18. Katie Snowden is 19. Katie Brown's 20. McClay's 21. And Katie Kirk's is 20. So on the inside, Sophie Billington of Luton United, just 18 years of age. These are great experiences of senior indoor championships for these up-and-coming athletes. Katie Snowden of Herne Hill. Katie Brown of Stewart Tree. Then Jenny Meadows, who sure will get a great reception. Given a big build-up by Jeff Whiteman in the arena. Probably 1 or 2 butterflies, I would imagine, even for someone of her age and experience. Where they go as JJ Jeggedy has just extended his lead in the long jump. 7 metres 85 now for JJ Jeggedy. So he now has moved comfortably clear in the long jump as they break down the back straight. And Jenny Meadows, a front runner early on here. Katie Kirk on the outside, coming across into second place. It's Snowden in third. As Meadows, colour-coordinated sunglasses and spikes or indoor running shoes. Third place, as I say, in the red and black, it's Snowden. Then on the outside, Katie Brown. The yellow and blue, that's Rachel McClay of Bracknell. And at the back of the field, Sophie Billington from Luton United. But Jenny Meadows, look at that gap she's opened up already. Focused comfortably, as we say, the fastest in this field. She's 10 seconds faster on lifetime bests than anybody else in this field. But this is her first race back after a long time out. She's had thigh problems, Achilles problems last year as well. Had her Olympic Games in London ruined by injury. Moscow, the World Championships outdoors, the same. But Meadows looks determined today. She goes through halfway in 60.31 seconds. Meadows representing Wigan and District. The minor places behind. Just keeping an eye. Looks like Katie Snowden has moved into second place, going down the back straight. But it's Jenny Meadows who will come round this time. And we'll hear the bell on this occasion as Meadows still has a huge lead as they come round. This is one of the most dominant performances we've seen by anybody so far. She'll take the bell this time, Jenny Meadows. It is indeed in second place, Katie Snowden of Herne Hill Harriers who goes through. But it's still Meadows. That gap has just narrowed a little bit. Jenny Meadows went out hard. She has a little glance round as she went through, didn't she? To see Snowden bearing down. The gap is down to about 5 metres now, going down the back straight. Katie Kirk in third currently as Meadows just begins to tie up a little bit. Does she coming round the home turn? Snowden's spikes just coming into view in the background. Snowden pressing the accelerator, but she hasn't got enough to catch Jenny Meadows. And Jenny Meadows, a winning return to action for the 32-year-old. Fine finish coming through by Katie Kirk in third, by the way. Fourth was Katie Brown. And then came McClay, and at the back of the field, Sophie Billington. But Jenny Meadows, 2:05.68, as you can see on the clock there. She'll be happy with that. That's a safe passage through to tomorrow's final. So the confirmed results of heat number 2, the previous heat. Laura Muir, 2:08.73 for Victoria Park and City of Glasgow. Rowena Cole, who kept her up to her work for a long way, 2:08.98 in second. And some personal best further down the field as well for Leah Barrow and Holly Parker. Dan Bramble, by the way, in the long jump has gone into second place, 7.76 for Dan Bramble in round 3. So he's gone above Felix Maisie Curtis with 7.63. But Jeggedy's still the leader, 7.85 in the long jump as they approach the end of round 3 of 6. Don't forget, tomorrow here on British Athletics TV, we'll be delighted to have Adam Jamili with us, who, and I'm sure he's got one or two nerves about holding the microphone rather than having to do the talking into it from an athlete's point of view. He's joining us as our special trackside reporter tomorrow. We're on air earlier tomorrow, 12 midday through to 4:30, covering the full day's action for you. A busy day of finals tomorrow. We have 9 champions to be crowned today and 15 champions will be crowned tomorrow. A couple of the finals that were decided earlier on. Julian Reid in the triple jump, Katarina Johnson-Thompson in the women's high jump with that new British record of 1m96. Those are the 2 British titles that have been decided already today. In the pole vault, by the way, opening clearances for Sally Peake at 4m1, and also for Lucy Bryan, who's also gone clear at 4m1. And now Zoe Brown from Ireland has also gone clear, first time at 4m1. Those are the early leaders. Again, no Holly Bleasdale, a huge favourite for that. She's coming in later in the competition at 4:46. Here's the lineup then for the final heat of the women's 800 metres. Fastest in this field is Tara Bird in lane 2 for Woodford Green and Essex ladies. Mari Smith for Leicester Coritanians, just 17 years of age on the inside. Sounds like she's got a bit of a fan club here. There's Tara Bird for Woodford Green and Essex ladies. Alex Turner for Amber Valley. Sophie Tyers for Radley. For Fife, Jenny Tan, the Scottish champion. And for Guildford and Godalming on the outside, Adele Tracy. Completing this lineup, again, 1 automatic place up for grabs and 2 fastest losers straight through to tomorrow's final. And away they go. So Tara Bird in lane 2 for Woodford Green and Essex ladies. As we say, the fastest in this field with personal best of 2:04.5. Tyers and Tan, both 2:06 runners, and early Tara Bird asserting herself and moving to the front and dictating the pace on the outside. Adele Tracy from Guildford and Godalming actually has taken the lead. Jenny Tan just tucked in behind her. Then comes Bird, Tyers, Smith and Turner at the back of the field. So Jenny Tan takes the lead as they come through with 600 metres to go. Next on the track, by the way, will be the 60-metre hurdles. We've got a men's B final and then a men's final. In the men's 60-metre hurdles, the likes of Sharman and Gale and Posse and Omarigi all lining up in that men's 60-metre hurdles final. The B final will come first. They are due after the conclusion of these 800-metre heats. So there's Jenny Tan from Tara Bird. And Adele Tracy, that the 1, 2, 3. Bit of bumping from Sophie Tyers as they come round. She tries to move up to third at halfway. 65.89, very modest pace as they go through halfway. And now it's Jenny Tan who's just extending down the back straight. And Tara Bird looking to go with her. Adele Tracy in third. Then it's Sophie Tyers in the blue of Radley in fourth. Those 4 just strung out now as they go round the back straight. As they come round in front of us this time, they will hear the bell. Tan just having a little look over her shoulder, gritting her teeth and working hard, whereas Tara Bird looks still relatively comfortable in behind, but Tan is accelerating away just temporarily, and now all of a sudden Bird is being asked a few questions here. Jenny Tan, the Scottish champion from Fife Athletic Club, the 22-year-old, and now Adele Tracy's going to move up into second for Guildford and Godalming. Now then, has Tan got enough to hold off Tracy's attentions down the back? Tracy is closing with every stride, and Tracy now looks the favourite as they come round in the final 100 metres or so. Tan is tying up, and Adele Tracy now taking advantage right on her shoulder. And Tracy comes past with a late surge. Jenny Tan is going to hold off the attentions of Bird for second. And Tara Bird just about hands on to third. We'll look at that again as Tyers came through as well, very close on the line, but an excellent run, beautifully paced race by Adele Tracy for Guildford and Godalming, who takes the automatic qualification spot in tomorrow's final. So So the fastest losers, by the way, going into that, Katie Snowdon, Katie Kirk were the two fastest losers with 2:06.23. The winning time there, we'll confirm for you in just a moment. The winning time was 2:07.86 for Adele Tracy. Jenny Tan, 2:08.59 in second. That's the result of the previous heat. Jenny Meadows with the season's best, 2:05.68, the winner, automatic qualifier. A PB for Katie Snowdon for Herne Hill in second, and that may well be enough to get her through. The two fastest losers potentially coming from that heat that we can see the result of there on the screen. Snowdon and Kirk, the two Katies, could well be the two fastest losers. We'll wait for confirmation on that. So the 60 metres men's B final will be the next action on the track. Let's bring you up to date with the long jump, because they completed the halfway point in the long jump, and now they reverse the order and they jump with the leader jumping last. JJ Jeggedy at 7 metres and 85 is the current leader. Dan Bramble, Shaftesbury Barnet in second, 7.76, and Felix Maisie Curtis of Harrow, 7.63. That is the 1, 2, 3 as they start the second half of that competition. Gardner, Newport, Hamilton and Causa in positions 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we do have the B final of the 60-metre hurdles, which will come next. I may have given you some rogue information there. There may not be a B final. At the start of the schedule I've got has got a 60-metre hurdles B final on it, but I think that may have changed. So we may be going straight to the final, so we'll confirm that for you in just a moment's time. That's the long jump competition. Meanwhile, that's Alan Hamilton from Sale Harriers Manchester in round number 4. So that means that the 60-metre hurdles men's final is due to be next. Reminder, it's hashtag Indoor Champs to get in touch with us on Twitter and at Brit Athletics. Just a reminder, Adam Jamili's interviews tomorrow, by the way. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the one you're watching us on right now, subscribe to that, because Adam Jamili's interviews will be uploaded to that web stream tomorrow. He won't be part of our live streaming coverage per se, but his interviews will be going up on our YouTube channel as separate entities. So make sure you have subscribed to youtube.com/British Athletics TV, and you'll be able to see Adam Jamili's interviews tomorrow. Not competing, of course, himself this weekend. Some of the highlights tomorrow, the likes of Robbie Grabarts will be in action. Luke Cutts in the men's pole vault as well. As in the long jump, we keep an eye on Oliver Newport. Confirmation there isn't a B final, so that was a bit of rogue info I'd had on the info I had printed out. So anyone who was thinking, hang on a minute, I didn't know I could make a B final, who's in the car watching on their way home, having left the EIS, having not qualified for the main final, don't worry, there isn't a B final. So here's Oliver Newport, Blackheath and Bromley, and he just runs through there. Got that one wrong in the long jump. Nearly wipes out the photographers. I think I just saw a glimpse of Mark Shimon, MBE, as ever, at British Athletics meetings. Photographer bib number 1, legendary athletics photographer, and rightly awarded an MBE in the New Year's Honours for his services to athletics. So we'll try and confirm those qualifiers for you in the 800 metres. I think we can do that now. We can indeed. So the lineup, the automatic qualifiers by right in the women's 800 metres: Jenny Meadows, Adele Tracy, Shalana Oscan Clark and Laura Muir. And the two fastest losers, as we suspected, Katie Snowdon and Katie Kirk, are also both through to the final, which is tomorrow. And the women's final is at 3:25 tomorrow afternoon. Dan Gardner of Sheffield on the long jump runway. Over 7 metres. We'll wait and see if that's an improvement for him. Dan Gardner currently in 6th place with 7 metres 30. It's there or thereabouts again, isn't it? Maybe a slight improvement. There was an improvement, by the way, for Alan Hamilton of Sale, who has gone up into 5th place with 7.34. in round number 4. Firon Sayers of Birchfield is on the long jump runway next. Here at the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships, the biggest ever domestic indoor championships, over 400 athletes competing. We've got a couple of cracking 60-metre flat finals due in the next half an hour or so. 5:10, the women's 60-metre final. Asher Phillip, Dina Asher-Smith, Jodie Williams, Montel Douglas. They're all through. The men's 60-metre final, Dasa Olu, Chambers, Safo Antwi, Ellington, amongst others. 7 metres 10 that was for Daniel Gardner. So Ferron Sayers, 4th place at the minute with 7:37. Can he improve and get himself into the medal positions in round 4? Not going to do it with that one. That's short of 7 metres, so Sayers will stay 4th. Worth mentioning as well, the new Club Connect scheme that British Athletics are running this year. It's a great campaign that's promoting the clubs throughout the competition. As you'll have noticed, the majority of competitors wearing their club vests. For example, in the case of Felix Maisie Curtis, the vest of Harrow AC, as he takes to the long jump runway. The winning team, the winning club of the winning athletes in each of our events this weekend, today and tomorrow, will be given 10 points. And the team or club with the most points at the end of the weekend in both the men's and the women's competitions will win a £1,000 British Athletic grant per club. So well worth doing. So the winners of each event, so for example in the women's high jump, Liverpool Harriers already 10 points richer thanks to Katarina Johnson-Thompson's win in the women's high jump. And it's totted up, and by the end of tomorrow, a £1,000 grant for a men's club and a women's club, depending on who's accumulated the most wins over the course of these championships. Here goes Felix Maisie Curtis, currently in 3rd with 7:63. And heading out towards that way again, maybe just short of that. Still to come, the men's 3,000 metres, also due on the track just before 6 o'clock. That's got the likes of Andy Vernon, Johnny Mellor, Mark Draper, Luke Gunn, amongst others, Andy Hayes, the Irishman Paul Pollock, Johnny Hay. So Felix Maisie Curtis, a foul in round 4. So he stays 3rd with 7:63. There's our leader, JJ Jeggedy. So Dan Bramble is currently in 2nd position, 7:76. He's in front of Jeggedy on the runway, I think. So Dan Bramble just going through shot there. We'll pick him up. Here he is, Dan Bramble, currently in 2nd and heading out towards the high 7 metres there, 7:76. He's got a white flag. He doesn't look too pleased with it, does he, Dan Bramble? 7:76 behind Jeggedy, who's on the runway preparing the current leader as we come towards the end of round 4 in the men's long jump. So we'll wait for a measurement on that from Dan Bramble. His reaction will tell you it's not going to be an improvement on 7:76, and it's not. 7:52 for Dan Bramble. He stays 2nd. And again, the red bib is for JJ Jeggedy, who is the leader of the Power of 10 rankings, the UK rankings, coming into this competition. And with the absence of Chris Tomlinson today, the 6-times champion, Jeggedy started as favourite and is living up to that billing so far. 7:85 in round 3 is his current mark. This is round 4. Don't think that's going to be an improvement for Jeggedy, who's going to stay on 7:85, I think, at the end of round number 4 as the men's long jump heads into the final 3rd of that event. On the start line, meanwhile, top of the shot, under the Sainsbury's banner, the banner of our sponsors of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. You will see the athletes for the men's 60-metre hurdles final. So there's your field for the men's 60-metre hurdles final. Again, all those who you would expect, looking at the entry list, if you have been over the course of the last few days, are in there. And again, it's great to see the likes of Andy Pozzi back from injury. So there we go. Andy Pozzi in lane number 3, back after foot surgery, out since September. Will Sharman in lane 6.
Now on the track, we have the final of the men's 60 metres hurdle.
So in the black on the inside, lane number 1, Birchfield Harrier, Adirian Okoro, 7.81. He's a new personal best he set this year in 2014. For Newham and Essex Beagles, Alex Al-Amin, 7.92 in the early part of this year. Then Andy Pozzi in his Great Britain vest, hasn't raced since last February after foot surgery. Great to see him back. Still just 21 years of age, lots of potential still to be tapped into. 7.64, close to his personal best this year. Nick Gale, Midlands champion for Sale Harriers Manchester. 7.72 he ran in the London Games, that's his PB. He's coached by Lloyd Cowan. David King looking cool and calm in the loudest vest of the day so far for the city of Plymouth, just 19 years of age. Alongside a man with vast experience, Will Sharman for Belgrave, 5th in the world final outdoors. Ran 7.67 in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. Popular character, Para 10 leader. Julian Ortiz, a guest from Spain in lane 7. And completing the lineup on the outside, David Omarigi, just 18, representing Cardiff. So this is our first live track final then of our coverage here on youtube.com/British Athletics TV for the British title indoors. It's the men's 60-metre hurdles. Will Sharman got a great start in lane number 6 and he rises first. Sharman in for Belgrave. Andy Pozzi going well on the inside. It's Pozzi and Sharman who are going to fight this out. Possibly just Sharman, but very, very close was it. Very close, dipping together on the line. We'll have to wait and see there. Andy Pozzi, a cracking run there to get as close as he did to Will Sharman. Those two we will have to separate with a photograph and sort out the minor placings. The winning time, 7.61, by the way. Not far outside Andy Turner's stadium record of 7.55. But who has got the nod and who has got the Sainsbury's British Athletics indoor title over 60 metres hurdles? Was it Pozzi? Was it Sharman? They're all nervously looking up at the electronic scoreboard here in the arena. We'll let you know as soon as we have confirmation on our computer, which will be at the same time. Pozzi from lane 3, Sharman from lane 6. It was a desperate dip from both of them. We've already seen a couple of dead heats today. Surely not another one. There's Pozzi. What do you think? Body language. There's Sharman in the background. They're not sure. He's asking the photographers who got it. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. He's trying to get a head start by asking an official down there in the infield. Still no confirmation. The officials are looking back at it. Must be desperately close. Almost a prayer from Andy Pozzi after such a tough year. The Stratford athlete. Has he got a British title to take home with him? The length of time it's taking to sort this out will tell us how close it is. I'm no body language expert, but he hasn't got a clue, has he, Andy Pozzi? We'll hopefully get the reactions of them very shortly. We'll keep an eye on the field events as we wait for confirmation to come up on our screen. Desperately close. We'll sort out the minor placings as well, by the way, the bronze medal. Sharman best before today of 7:67. Pozzie's best was 7:64 before today. That's in 2014. There's a crowd on tenterhooks here in the EIS in Sheffield. You're live with us on day one of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. And we'll get this result as soon as we can. Still no confirmation on our computer here as to who has got the men's 60-metre hurdles title. In the meantime, that's the confirmation of the final heat of the women's 800 metres. Adele Tracy was the automatic qualifier. Jenny Tan will have to wait and see. In fact, Jenny Tan didn't make it. Didn't make a fastest loser spot. And still, you're not missing anything. We still don't have a confirmed result of that men's 60-metre hurdles final. Hearing potentially it could be a dead heat in the hurdles. That is going through final verification as we speak, but that's the early word. No confirmation officially yet. That's the word that's going around, that it might be a dead heat, but we will wait to see. There's a handshake between Sharman and Potsie. Did you think you got it, mate? No, I thought I didn't get it. I'm not sure, says Will Sharman. Where are you going for dinner? Can I come? Having a chat. Still looking up at the screen, which hasn't moved. It's just got the reaction times at the moment, just up to their left-hand side. The British titles mean so much to people, can never be taken away, and a centimetre or two, maybe a millisecond of a dip too early or too late can make the difference between being called the British champion and not being called the British champion. We may have a pair of gold medals if the early indications are to be believed. That's just, as we say, some early thoughts that are coming over from the organisation area. Still nothing. Just hearing in the background John Rawling, our event announcer here. It's gone down to thousandths of a second, we're hearing, in the men's 60-metre hurdles. So that's how close it was. They're level on tenths of second and hundredths of second. They're going down to thousandths of seconds. And there is that centimetre or two that will decide this men's 60-metre hurdles title. Next up, by the way, is the women's 60-metre flat final. The women's 60-metre hurdles all takes place tomorrow, but it's the flat finals next to the men's 60 metres after the women's 60 metres, which comes up next. Still we wait, as you may be able to hear in the background from John Rawling. Incredible length of time as the clock ticks past 5 o'clock here on British Athletics TV with myself, Chris Temple, live from the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield, the 10th year that we've been here. And now the rest of the field, of course, are waiting to see who's got the minor medals as well in behind, because someone in that field has picked up a bronze. Don't have the benefit of any replay, so we're all going on what we've seen, what you've seen at home at the moment. Wherever you're watching, you might be watching on your phone, on the bus, live on YouTube. Exactly the same place to keep an eye on the coverage tomorrow as well when we get underway from 12 midday. A big thanks to our title sponsor, Sainsbury's, of course, for their support of our major events throughout the year. The next of which is next weekend, Saturday the 15th of February, the Sainsbury's Indoor Grand Prix from Birmingham to NIA, and that's live on BBC television next weekend as Maisie Curtis in the long jump just goes through the shot. We're just going to hang on at the moment and keep an eye on these guys. There's Will Sharman. That pretty much says it all, Will. You're quite right. Who knows? If you want to get in touch with us, any thoughts, you could have given us your verdicts on who you thought got the photo on the naked eye the first time around. @Brit Athletics is the place to get in touch on Twitter. #IndoorChamps. That's coming right through to some screens here in the arena, so people walking past can see your tweets. Keep it clean. And of course, our team can read them as well, and we'll retweet the best. Hopefully, you already follow @Brit Athletics on Twitter for all the latest news and photographs and updates from the team behind British Athletics. So they've now sat down, as you can probably see just beyond the long jump pit there, Pozzie and Sharman. David King of the city of Plymouth is also hanging around in third place. Did he get the bronze, David King? We'll wait for confirmation on that as well. He's the one in the bright electric green vest. Tony Barden, part of our events team there as well. Nina Anderson, our infield interviewer, Wilbert Greaves. They're all standing there, holding their earpieces, making sure they don't miss anything. And what are we now? We're a full 5 minutes probably at least, and the rest beyond the end of that amazing finale to the men's 60-metre hurdles. Hope Will Sharman didn't have anywhere to be, and Andy Pozzi as well. The medal ceremonies, by the way, are taking place in a special presentation area, not part of the arena entertainment today, but you'll be able to see photos and things on the @Brit Athletics Twitter feed. So while we wait for that confirmation, JJ Jeggedy in the long jump will be coming into that pit in just a moment. He's still the leader, 7.85. The top three positions are still Jeggedy in the gold medal position, Bramble in second in silver, and Maisie Curtis in bronze. That is still the 1, 2, 3 as Jeggedy with round 5 in the long jump. Jeggedy just in the pit in the background there, you can see him behind the two athletes, Pozzi and Sharman. We'll get a measurement on that one. It was a white flag for JJ Jeggedy. So one more jump to go. The minor placings in behind Jeggedy are quite close. 7.76 Bramble, 7.63 Maisie Curtis. So those two jostling for positions behind Jeggedy. Well, we know Will Sharman usually likes to play up to the cameras, and we saw him earlier on, getting on good terms, those two, by the look of it. Andy Pozzi, coached by Malcolm Arnold, of course. It'll take them by surprise shortly when it pops up on the big screen. Everyone around is still waiting, not just those two sat in the shot, you at home as well. The reaction times, by the way, Akoro was the fastest reaction time, in case you're interested, out of the... in fact, no, he wasn't the fastest, that's in lane order, so ignore that bit of information. Fastest out of the blocks was Sharman, in fact. 0.115 his reaction time. So did he get the benefit for a great start? Jeff Whiteman in the back going, confirmation that it's been given, I think, as a dead heat. It has been given as a dead heat. Andy Pozzi and Will Sharman both given 7.64. It's been given as a dead heat. So we have joint British champions for 2014. A handshake between Pozzi and Sharman. They're both taking home a gold medal. And in a way, that's probably the fairest way to deal with it. William Sharman, a PB, 7.64 in second. Andy Pozzi, 7.64. Joint winners, dead heat. And we'll confirm the third position in just a moment, the bronze medal. That's the athletes, by the way, for the women's 60-metre hurdles final. Getting ready. So still just waiting for confirmation of that bronze medal in the men's 60-metre hurdles. And David Omarigi from Cardiff gets the bronze in the men's 60-metre hurdles, 7.78 seconds, a PB, just edging out David King of Plymouth, 7.80, a PB for him in fourth. Nick Gale was fifth, 7.84. Alex Alameen was sixth, 7.85. Akoro seventh, 7.89. And Ortiz, the guest, 7.95. So the medals, Pozzi and Sharman a dead heat for gold. Omarigi takes the bronze. And there, after all that, is that confirmed result for you to see. And again, a raft of PBs.
Well, this is my first national indoor title, so I've got to be happy with that, along with the fact it's a personal best. So congratulations to Andy as well, and to the crowd for getting out.
Will Sharman just in the background, you may be able to pick up, talking to the crowd here, just very fairly saying congratulations to Andy Pozzi and saying he's happy with the way things have panned out today as we get set for the women's 60-metre finals. There's some steely looks. Asher Phillip in the yellow in lane 3. Now we've got a DNS here if we're in lane 4. Jodie Williams was due to be in lane 4, but she plainly is not there. So, having been one of the most impressive in qualifying, Jodie Williams does not go in the final. Newport in the long jump. meanwhile, before we get the start list for this women's 60 metres. This is Oliver Newport for Blackheath and Bromley, just jumping through now in the final round of the long jump. So here comes the start list for the women's 60-metre final. Confirmation that Jodie Williams does not go in lane 4. So the guest for Ireland on the inside, Amy Foster. Rachel Johncock for Swansea ran a personal best to make the final. But Asher Phillip is the defending champion. Set her personal best last year here of 7.15. She was just outside that in the semi, was 7.16. But this is Amy Foster of Ireland, first of all. The 25-year-old. Then a rising star, Swansea Harriers, Rachel Johncock. 7.36 in the semi was her lifetime best. Asher Phillip for Newham and Essex Beagles. The stadium record holder, the defending champion, the power of 10 ranking leader, has a vacant lane alongside her. There's a lady who's seen and done it all before, Montel Douglas. 28 years of age, 3 appearances at major games for Blackheath and Bromley. Clubmate alongside her, again for Blackheath and Bromley. Dina Asher-Smith at just 18 years of age. 7.22. A PB for her already in this competition here at the EIS. Then Bianca Williams for Enfield and Haringey Harriers. 20 years of age. The reason I mention these ages is because it's noticeable how many up-and-coming stars there are. And on the outside, completing the lineup, Kingston upon Hull's Annabelle Lewis. So we've seen a dead heat in the first live track final we brought you already here on British Athletics TV. What lies ahead in the women's 60-metre final? So away first time is Asher Phillip in lane number 3, but also going well, Dina Asher-Smith out in lane number 6, but Asher Phillip is striding away and she wins it. Asher-Smith takes second and Montel Douglas third, 7.09. It's a new stadium record and just outside a British record for Asher Phillip, a big personal best as well. 7.09 unofficially for Asher Phillip, who successfully defends her crown. Dina Asher-Smith second for Blackheath and Bromley, and they take bronze as well in the shape of Montel Douglas. That the 1, 2, 3. And Asher Phillip yet again gets thrown the Union Jack, representing Newham and Essex Beagles in that yellow and black, and she is the gold medalist yet again. 7.09 confirmed, a new stadium record and personal best for Asher Phillip. Dina Asher-Smith 7.25 in second place, just slower than she ran in the semi-final to qualify. And confirmation too of bronze for Montel Douglas in 7.30 seconds. Phillip, Asher-Smith and Douglas will climb onto the podium in the women's 60 metres. The men's 60-metre final is next. So let's bring you up to date with the long jump, which is coming up towards climax, and we can tell you the medalists have now been decided because nobody that was outside the top 3 has managed to break into it. So which order will they finish in though? Maisie Curtis is currently in 3rd place, 7.63. He's just going through the shot jumping now. So a white flag for Felix Maisie Curtis, looking to improve on 7.63. The current mark for 2nd place is 7.76. which is currently held by Dan Bramble. JJ Jiggity out 7.85. We'll wait for, that's the pole vault meanwhile. Good clearance in the pole vault. That's Lucy Bryan from Bristol and West. 4:26, Lucy Bryan going clear. 7:59 for Felix Maisie Curtis, so no improvement. He will take the bronze. Representing Harrow. So back to the pole vault we go. Next on the runway, that's Sally Peake, who was certainly one of the favourites for a medal in this competition so far. This is her second attempt at 4:26. Holly Bleasdale still yet to come into the competition, but still in. Lucy Bryan clearing at 4:26 second time. Sally Peake, 2 first-time clearances so far. This is her second attempt at 4:26. Nope, no good for Sally Peake on that occasion, so she's got one more attempt left. Next will be Zoe Brown from Ireland. Apart from that, we just have 4 competitors still in the competition, plus Holly Bleasdale, who's yet to reach her opening height. And those left are Lucy Bryan, Sally Peake, Zoe Brown, and also Henrietta Paxton, representing Birchfield. So this is Zoe Brown for Ireland in the blue and white, in the black and white rather, of Shaftesbury Barnet. So there are only 5 competitors left in the pole vault. In fact, there are 6 because Bryony Rain of Cardiff has cleared at 3:61, it looks like, and has passed through as far as I can see. But this is Zoe Brown of Ireland. This is her second attempt at 4:26. Nope. Hope she's okay. Bit of a pole came down on the head, I think, but a rueful look from Zoe Brown. One more attempt she has. So we'll confirm the results of the women's 60-metre final. And there it is, gold for Asher Phillip, yet again, 7:09, a new stadium record for the Newham and Essex Beagle, breaking her own mark from last year, which was 7.15. Dina Asher-Smith takes silver, and Montel Douglas picked up the bronze. A good PB for Amy Foster in 4th. So just hearing an update to the schedule, by the way, there won't now be a women's 1500-metre semi-final. So that's going to be a straight final, and that's going to be today. We're due to have heats of the women's 1500 metres at 6:45 this evening, but we're just hearing that is going to be a straight final because of the number of competitors involved. So confirmation that JJ Jeggedy has won the long jump. He fouled on his final round attempt. There was a good jump, by the way, in second place from Dan Bramble, who stretched out to 7:80 metres, equaling his lifetime best to take the silver medal. But JJ Jeggedy is the champion with his third round jumper 7:85. Dan Bramble the silver 7:80 metres, and Felix Maisie Curtis of Harrow takes the bronze in the long jump. So we're going to go back to the pole vault where Holly Bleasdale will be entering the competition very soon. At the moment, there's only one person I can see clear below her, and that is Lucy Bryan from Bristol and West. This is Sally Peake from Birchfield, second in the UK rankings coming into this. This is her third and final attempt at 4:26. She has to get this to stay in the contention. Oh, no for Sally Peake. Unfortunate. Got the height but came down too steeply. So Sally Peake's competition is at an end. 4:16 is her mark. Let's bring you the result from the long jump that we were just talking about. Confirmation of the victory for JJ Jeggedy, 7:85. A good few minutes for Newham and Essex Beagles without Asher Phillip taking gold. And now JJ Jeggedy doing the same. So 10 points each for them in our Club Connect programme as they compete for a £1,000 British Athletics grant at the end of tomorrow. So a good few minutes, 20 points racked up by Newham. Bramble silver, Maisie Curtis the bronze. So we'll keep an eye on the pole vault with Holly Bleasdale due to come in shortly, but that is the lineup for the men's 60-metre final, which is next on the track. It's going to be a third and final attempt for Zoe Brown of Ireland in the pole vault at 4:26. She's just approaching the bar now, and it's a failure for Zoe Brown. So she is out of the competition. 4:16 her mark as well. She was in second position. So she, as things stand, The leader is still Lucy Bryan of Bristol and West with a clearance at 4:26. The one remaining competitor to have a go at that height will be Henrietta Paxton of Birchfield, a third and final attempt at 4:26. Holly Bleasdale has yet to take her opening jump. So we'll just see this final attempt in the pole vault. I'll keep you in touch with as we see the competitors for the men's 60 metres. And that is the lineup. James Ellington on the inside, the British champion over 200 metres. Dasa Olu, the defending champion. Dwayne Chambers, unbeaten in this arena, the 5 times winner.
So on the track now, it is the final of the men's 60 metres. In lane 1, an Olympian from 2012.
James Ellington, more at home over 200 metres at the ultra short distance of 60. As Henrietta Paxton jumps in the pole vault meanwhile and fails at 4:26. So she's out of the competition as well with a mark of 4:16. There's Oji Odeburan of Shaftesbury, just 17 years of age. There's the favourite, has to be the favourite. James Dasa Olu, defending champion. He'll have an eye not only on a British title, but also on Jason Gardner's stadium record of 6:49. Sean Sappho Antwi, 6:59 his best this year. That's a PB. Representing Enfield and Haringey. A lifetime best already this weekend, today, for Richard Kilty for Gateshead Harriers. Dwayne Chambers, can anybody beat him over this 60 metres here at the EIS? 5 titles he's already won. Didn't compete last year because of a back injury. James Dasa Olu won it. Dasa Olu got the better of him in Glasgow 2 weeks ago at the Emirates International. There's the teenager, Chijindu Uja. And on the outside, Danny Talbot of Birchfield Harriers. Where's your money going then? All the top guns are in this men's 60-metre final, live on British Athletics TV from the EIS in Sheffield. They'll wait first time. Sappho Antwi got a great start in lane number 4. Dasa Olu coming through now. Chambers on the outside. It's Dasa Olu and Chambers very close. Can you split that one? I can't. Richard Kilty in the mix as well. Looks like Dasa Olu or Chambers. 6.50 is the winning time. Who got the nod? Was it James Dasa Olu? Was it Dwayne Chambers? Richard Kilty was running the mix for the bronze as well. But as we've seen, a few handshakes for Dasa Olu. Doesn't wholly look convinced that he's won it. Dwayne Chambers is looking round as well. This is about as close as the men's 60-metre hurdles. Dwayne Chambers, 16 races here at the EIS. Make that 17, come through the 2 rounds. But again, it's all eyes on the screen. Richard Kilty, you saw there, looking at the screen as he snuck a medal in 3rd place. He's been in great form. Dasa Olu, not convinced. Has he defended his title? Thrilling stuff this, live here on British Athletics TV, right across the world, from the EIS in Sheffield. And Dasa Olu has got it, 6.50. Dasa Olu has been confirmed as the champion. Dwayne Chambers second, 6.53. And Richard Kilty takes the bronze with the same time, 6.53. Dasa Olu is the champion once again. A personal best for Chijindu Uja, 6.59 in 4th. Sean Sappho Antwi, another Enfield competitor, 6.62, came 5th. That's an excellent run from Richard Kilty as well to take the bronze ahead of some really in-form athletes. Danny Talbot, 6.64, was 6th. These results are coming up slowly but surely on the screen in front of me. But boy, have we seen some close contests, particularly as you'd expect with all the top athletes over the shortest distance. A personal best for James Ellington in 7th, 6:67, and OG Edaburan 6:72, completing the field in 8th. But it's Dasa Olu from Chambers from Kilty in the men's 60 metres. Let's get you back in touch with the pole vault then. In the meantime, a first-time failure for Lucy Bryan at 4 metres and 36. And Lucy Bryan is, Holly Bleasdale has passed at 4:36, so Lucy Bryan at the moment is the only competitor, it would appear, still active. Sally Peake is currently lying second, so effectively, as long as Holly Bleasdale can come in and register a mark, that is looking like the 3 medalists, Bryan and Peake and Bleasdale, but in what order? It's at Brit Athletics on Twitter, remember, and hashtag Indoor Champs to get in touch with us. Thanks to those of you that are doing so far. If you want to search what other people are saying about this afternoon's Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships, then search for hashtag Indoor Champs and you'll see photos from people who are here with us live in the EIS, people who are watching with you on our YouTube channel around the world. Maybe you're coming tomorrow. What are you particularly looking forward to tomorrow? The likes of Robbie Grabarts, amongst others. No Tiffany Porter, unfortunately, tomorrow in the 60-metre hurdle. She's had to pull out due to injury. And let's confirm that men's 60-metre result. There it is, James Dasa Olu, 6.50, a season's best from Wayne Chambers. The run had to end sometime, I'm sure, after 17 successful 60 metres here in Sheffield. And Richard Kilty, I'm sure, will be delighted with his bronze. So Lucy Bryan is on the pole vault runway. She's preparing for her second attempt very shortly. If you weren't with us earlier on, a total of 21 ladies took part in the women's pole vault. A lot of the youngsters getting experience, of course. It's still an up-and-coming event, but 21 is a fantastic entry number for an event like that. You can see in the centre of the arena, the 60-metre track now being restaged, if you like. And that will be for the shot put. The women's shot put, which will feature the defending champion Rachel Wallader and Sophie McKinnon, 20-year-old as well. That's due off at 20 past 6. Time now, 5:25. Live with myself, Chris Temple. I'm on Twitter as well, by the way. If you want to directly comment on anything today, you can send that to me. I'm Chris with a K, K-R-I-S, Temple, on Twitter. And here with you tomorrow as well. Remember, we're on air 12 midday through till 4:30. Tomorrow afternoon here at the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. And those highlights tomorrow, including the likes of Robbie Grabarts and Luke Cutts. Also, we climax tomorrow with both the men's and the women's 400-metre finals. The semi-finals of those are still to come before close of play today. Nigel Levine going for his 4th successive title in the men's 400 metres. The likes of Ailey Child as well. Victoria Uhuragu, Megan Beasley in the women's 400 metres. Reminder earlier on, Shayna Cox was disqualified despite winning her heat. Shayna Cox was DQ'd from the women's 400 metres, and Michael Bingham was also disqualified from the men's 400 metres. So a couple of leading contenders not making it through to the semi-finals. Lucy Bryan has failed at her second attempt at 4:36 in the pole vault, so she is going to continue. And if she does fail at this attempt, as long as Holly Bleasdale comes in with a mark, i.e. as long as she clears the bar once, she could win this competition with just one jump. We'll wait and see, though, because Lucy Bryan of Bristol and West would like to change that. Sally Peake of Birchfield, her mark was 4:16. Lucy Bryan is taken to the runway now. Of course, as well as Sainsbury's, our official major event partners, the National Lottery, great supporters of British Athletics, one of our official partners. Nike, our kit supply. MG, new partners for this year. Polar, our heart rate monitors. Sucker, our water suppliers. UK Sport, our funding partners. And, of course, a massive thanks to our local partners here in Sheffield, Sheffield City Council and Sheffield International Venues for the use of this magnificent EIS in Sheffield for the 10th year of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. There is a performance of the day, by the way, as well, which will be selected by the British Athletics team. £1,000 to the athlete for the performance of the day. Where would your money be so far? Maybe someone who's still to come might stake their claim for a cool £1,000. So the 1,500 metres for men will be next on the track. So there's the start list for heat number 1 of the men's 1,500 metres. The first 2 automatically qualify.
Next on the track, it's the heats of the men's 1,500 metres. Sure to be a tactical battle, the first 2 from each.
So we go on the outside this time. That's Ben Martin from Trafford on the outside. There are 10 competitors in total in this. The first 2 automatically through, plus the 3 fastest losers. Daniel Cheeseman of York, then Owen Pearce of Ireland, Stephen Davis of Belgrave, then Stuart King of Hena, Harry Harper in the yellow of Liverpool Harriers. Then Chris O'Hare, a great run from him in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. He would be the favourite in this field. Miles Edwards from Thames Valley. Then Luke Minns of Blackpool and Fylde. And on the inside, there's the Para 10 leader, Lee Emanuel, hopeful for local support, the athlete from the city of Sheffield. First of 3 heats then of the men's 1,500 metres. First 2 automatically qualify. The Sopot World Qualifying Standard, by the way, 3 minutes 41. So where they go, 7.5 laps of the track for this men's 1,500 metres first heat, and it's Lee Emanuel who leads them out early on. Chris O'Hare just tucking in behind him on his shoulder. We'll keep an eye on the pole vault because Lucy Bryan is going to take her 3rd and final attempt in the pole vault to try and keep herself in the competition. But it's Emanuel. As we say, 7.5 laps of the track, 3 heats still to come. Chris O'Hare, great run from him in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. Charlie Grice, by the way, who performed very well in Dusseldorf recently. He goes in the 2nd of the heats. As Emanuel from Martin from O'Hare going down the back straight. Well, they're going down the home straight for the first time. They go past and see the 6 lap to go counter. So it's Ben Martin of Trafford in 2nd place in the diagonal stripe. Chris O'Hare in 3rd, just going past Martin now into 2nd place. And Lucy Bryan, by the way, has failed her 3rd attempt at 4:36 in the pole vault. So Lee Emanuel, 29-year-old, out in front. His personal best set this year indoors of 3:38.99. At the moment, he has the lead. The Liverpool Harrier in 3rd place is Harry Harper in the yellow. That's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Emanuel from O'Hare from Harry Harper. 24-year-old Harry Harper, his best so far 3:47. Then in 4th place, Miles Edwards of Thames Valley Hare and Hounds, 3:52, his best so far this season. Mo Farah is the stadium record holder, by the way, here in Sheffield. His mark of 3 minutes 40.57. This time they say 4 laps to go, so through halfway, and it's Emanuel from O'Hare, and then Harper. Back in 4th, Miles Edwards. Then the Blackpool and Fylde athlete, Luke Minns, in the orange, who's just moving up past Edwards now into 4th. Daniel Cheeseman going well for the city of York as well, but it's Emanuel and O'Hare, the 2 pre-race favourites in this particular heat, who've opened up a 5-metre gap or so and more on Harry Harper in 3rd. 3 laps to go on this occasion. The orange just going through the bottom of the screen. That's Luke Minns. Then it was Ben Martin of Miles Edwards of Thames Valley Hare and Hounds, Ben Martin of Trafford. And Holly Bleasdale, I can tell you, in the background has just opened up with a clearance at 4:46. And with that jump, she's won the competition. 1 jump, win, gold. Congratulations to Holly Bleasdale. If all the competitions were as easy as that, she'd be delighted. Silver then goes to Lucy Bryan, and the bronze to Sally Peake in the women's pole vault. We'll confirm all that for you very shortly, as O'Hare now just allows Emmanuel to build up a 4 or 5 metre lead. Harper just closing on O'Hare in second place. Edwards has fourth, then Minns in fifth. As they go down the back straight, this time they'll see 2 laps to go, or rather 1 lap to go. They'll hear the bell on this occasion. The lap counter just changing round in front of me, as Emmanuel sees a big red number 1 as he comes past now. There's the bell. So Emmanuel, who's led from the front, went out with intent, has less than 200 metres now. O'Hare, a little glance behind his shoulder. Remember, the first 2 are automatically through, plus the 3 fastest losers. And now O'Hare effortlessly goes past Lee Emmanuel, who's working hard down the back. He needs to be aware of what's coming behind him. Is Harry Harper able to close? It would look like he's not, as O'Hare now starts to dictate it, and both the front 2 have it under control. Little looks over their shoulders, and they know they've both done enough as they come up to the line now. And O'Hare slowing down nearly to a walk in 3:49.72 is the winner from Emmanuel. Harry Harper hanging on for third, the Liverpool Harrier. He'll have to wait and see whether he's one of the fastest losers from heat number 1 of the men's 1500 metres. 2 more to come. Still to come on the track. The final, by the way, of this men's 1500 metres, as we say, is tomorrow. And that is at 2:40. It's due off tomorrow afternoon, the men's 1500 metre final. Reminder, the women's 1500 metres, that will be a straight final today because of the number of competitors involved. So the women's final, there are 14 in total. We hear that is going to be a straight final today. Good to see the likes of Gemma Simpson, based in the US, of course, partner of Chris Thompson. 3:49.72 for Chris O'Hare, and Lee Emmanuel 3:49.90. Harper 3:51.03 in third. So there's Holly Bleasdale. You might be able to just see her there, just stepping over the UK Sport Blue advertising banner. Now, is she, for her own individual development, going to keep putting the bar up a little bit? You would imagine she would do this early in the season to get some good form and some confidence behind her. So a first-time clearance for her. There she is in the white bib, the red power of 10 bib, the white singlet, red power of 10 bib. She's passed at 4:53, so her next height is going to be 4:60 for Holly Bleasdale. After our next 2 heats, by the way, the men's 1500 metres, we're on to the men's 3000 metres. Then we have the semi-finals of the men's and the women's 400 metres still to go before we are off air today, due to close around 7 o'clock or so. That will be tweaked, depending on how long we thought the pole vault competition might go on quite some time, but as it happened, with the way it's panned out, quite a few competitors slipping out early in the competition. A confirmation that the 1500 metres for women will be a straight final with those 14 competitors lining up, and that will come up our last event of the evening on the track, and that's at 6:45. You might have just seen in the top left of the shot there, Holly Bleasdale successful at 4:60 at the first time. 4:66 is the next available height. We'll wait and see what she's going to have the bar put up to, but 2 jumps, 2 clearances so far for Holly Bleasdale, already confirmed as the champion with her first successful clearance, but over first time at 4:60. So the athletes gathering on the track for heat number 2 of the men's 1500. As I say, Charlie Grice with a great run in Dusseldorf recently.
Next on the track, it's the second heat of the men's 1500 metres. Lineup, I'll give you from out to in. Starting on the outside, from Border Harriers, Kevin Bell.
So Kevin Bell from Border Harriers on the outside.
From Cardiff, Tom Marley.
Tom Marley of Cardiff, Gareth Hill of Ballymena. We missed Cameron Boyack of Shildon, by the way, just going through the shot. Gareth Hill of Ballymena.
Starting in 5, from Ireland, Michael Dowling. From Ealing, Southall and Middlesex,
Michael Dowling, then Jamie Taylor-Caldwell of Ealing Southall of Middlesex. Elliot Dorey of Jersey in the blue. Ben Coldray of Stroud. And there on the inside with the famous Phoenix Club from Brighton, Charlie Grice. A best this year, 340.97 for Charlie Grice. So away they go. Grice on the inside then with Coldray. And the Jersey athlete Elliot Dorey in the blue. Cameron Boyack of Shildon in the northeast. And the tall figure of Kevin Bell on the outside from Border. Those the early front runners. With 7.5 laps of the track ahead of them in this second heat. Again, it's 2 automatically through, plus the 3 fastest losers. Fastest loser spot so far, 3:53.3 from that first heat, with Emmanuel and O'Hare the comfortable automatic qualifiers. Grice and Boyack then out front in these early stages. Coldray of Stroud on the inside of Gareth Hill of Ballymena in the black, green and white there on the outside. Kevin Bell, and now a move down the outside from Michael Dowling, the Irish athlete, who suddenly storms to the front and decides with 6 laps to go that he's going to take it on. So Dowling down the back straight. Another one for Newham and Essex Beagles. You've had a great day. Remember, 10 points for the winner of each of our finals today in both the men's and the women's events. The top club with the most points by the end of tomorrow evening will have a £1,000 British Athletics grant as part of the new Club Connect incentive scheme run by British Athletics. Dowling comes around then. 5 laps to go on this occasion. From Boyack and Charlie Grice on the inside. Coldray in 4th. Then Elliot Dorey in the blue. Kevin Bell comes next. Then Gareth Hill. And as we head towards the back, Tom Marley of Cardiff in the red, and at the back of the field at this stage is Jamie Taylor-Caldwell from Ealing Southall and Middlesex in the green. Holly Bleasdale's going for 4:73, by the way, in the pole vault. That bar is just being measured over on the far side as the athletes see 4 laps to go. 800 metres remaining in this second heat of the men's 1,500 metres. And still Boyack now, moving up on the outside of Dowling. Dorey trying to make some progress down the outside in the blue of Jersey. Athletes now trying to jostle for position as the race enters its crucial phase. They come around the top bend, and now Charlie Grice has managed to wriggle himself out of his position on the inside for fear of getting boxed. And Charlie Grice, as they come through this time with 600 metres remaining, will hit the front for the first time. Dorey around the outside again, a bit of bumping and barging. Coldray was involved in a bit of clipped heels on the inside there, and all of a sudden now they're managing to sort themselves out and strung out as Charlie Grice starts to put the pump down at the front from Dorey and Coldray on the outside. Boyack's there as well. Dowling in the yellow in 5th place suddenly. Tom Marley from Cardiff in the red, just trying to hang on to these front 5. This time they'll come around with 2 laps to go, and Charlie Grice still dictating things as the others continue to work hard and jostle for position in behind. Can they live with Charlie Grice then, who starts to open up in 2nd place on Ben Coldray from Stroud? And there is Grice, elegant, smooth runner in great form, and that gap is getting bigger. He's still got, 300 metres to go as he comes round on this occasion. Cameron Boyack has gone into 2nd for Shildon. The first 2 go through by right as Grice comes round, and we'll hear the bell on this occasion. Boyack goes through in 2nd place. Elliot Dorey is 3rd. The battle is really on for that 2nd spot, as you can see going through the right of your shot there. But Charlie Grice is away and gone. A little glance round, he'll see nobody anywhere near him at the moment. The gap is now probably 15, 20, maybe even more, as Bleasdale in the middle of the shot there goes through at 4:73 and goes clear. First attempt. Charlie Grice, though, comes round and safely books his path into tomorrow's 1,500 metre final. Charlie Grice, no problem whatsoever. 3:52.39. 2nd place goes to Ben Coldray in the end, who manages to hold off the attentions of Elliot Dorey, Michael Dowling and Cameron Boyack. So Grice and Coldray, the 2 automatic qualifiers. So the pole vault, Holly Bleasdale, 4:73. And the British record, by the way, is 4:87. The stadium record that she holds herself is 4:77, as we confirm the result of the first heat of the 1,500 metres. O'Hare and Emmanuel, the 2 automatic qualifiers, Harry Harper hoping for a fastest loser spot. So 4:87 in the pole vault is the national record set by Holly Bleasdale herself back in January 2012. The arena record, the stadium record here in the EIS, 4:77. That was set last year in this competition. Now then, can she go higher than that? We've already seen Katarina Johnson-Thompson break a British record in the high jump earlier on. A massive 8-centimetre improvement on her personal best, which was 188 coming into today. She improved it to 1:96. So there's Holly Bleasdale. Pole vault, of course, has been in the news plenty recently. The exploits of Renaud Lavillenie, and of course the British talent of Luke Cutts, who's having a cracking season. He goes tomorrow after 4 silver medals, 4 podium finishes that haven't been gold for Luke Cutts. He will be the favourite to take gold tomorrow in the men's pole vault. But it's the women's pole vault now. The gold has already been decided. Holly Bleasdale has it. But now the bar has gone up to 4:81 meters, which would be a stadium record for Holly Bleasdale. She's going for her 4th title. She's won her 4th title after a bit of an injury-plagued year last year. Warmed up for this with a jump of 4:71 in Dresden in Germany last week. And there she is having a bit of banter with some of her fellow competitors, a lot of whom have been out of this competition for quite some time. But a great experience, I'm sure, for them to be competing with someone alongside the Blackburn athlete Holly Bleasdale. There's the bar, top left of the shot. 4:81 meters for a new stadium record for Holly Bleasdale as we prepare for the 3rd and final heat of the men's 1500 metres. And good to see someone who spells the name the same as me. Second bottom there, Chris Gorson from Belgrave. His mum also couldn't spell like mine. Tom Marshall's the DNS in this. So Robbie Fitzgibbon, teammate of Charlie Grice at Brighton Phoenix on the outside. There's my mate Chris Gorson from Belgrave. He's not my mate, I've never met him before, but his name's the same as mine. From Kent, Tunbridge AC, James West. Shaftesbury, Barnet, represented by Zach Randall, who starts in lane 6. Kieran Roberts from Carmarthen in the red of Wales. Sean Wiley for Bracknell. And Tom Marshall's a DNS. Nick Lingley for Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow in lane 2. And the lineup completed in lane number 1 by the Radley athlete Stuart Ferguson. So this is the 3rd and final heat of the men's 1500 metres. First 2 automatically qualify, and the 3 fastest losers. And those fastest loser qualification places at the moment set at 3:53.3, so that's as fast as anybody who finishes outside the top 2 has got to go. And early on, Nick Lingley of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow takes it up from James West of Tunbridge on the outside. Robbie Fitzgibbon of Brighton in the white on the outside as well, prominent early on. In the black and white stripes, Zach Randall of Shaftesbury. As we keep an eye on Holly Bleasdale, I'm stretching up to look over the top of our little balcony here at the EIS to make sure that we can see what Holly Bleasdale is doing as she attempts a stadium record of 4:81 meters. .477, her own mark, as Lingley continues to lead them through in the 1500 with 6 laps to go. Bleasdale's at the end of the run-up and is starting now, roared on by this big crowd here at the EIS. A sold-out crowd as Bleasdale is up now in the air, and it's just about stayed on. We have a new stadium record for Holly Bleasdale, 4:81 meters. Will she go higher? Back to the action on the track, the men's 1500 metres, heat number 3, and it's still Nick Lingley of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow who leads, from James West of Tunbridge in second. On the inside, Radley's Stuart Ferguson, the Welshman, Kieran Roberts from Chris Gorson in the Belgrave Harriers strip, carried to a silver medal by Dwayne Chambers a short time ago. Sean Wiley in the blue of Bracknell. At the back of the field, Robbie Fitzgibbon in the white, and Zach Randall brings up the rear for Shaftesbury. And now at the front is James West of Tunbridge. When they come around next, they will see 4 laps to go. So 800 metres to go when they go past the finish line on this occasion. More chats with their coach for Holly Bleasdale. So she's going to go even higher. We'll see what the bar is being set at next. In fact, that's been put down as a failure, that 481. So the bar must have wobbled off at the last minute. It was certainly like it was staying on, and the crowd thought it was staying on. But that has been put down as a failure, so it must have wobbled off very late. Very unfortunate for Holly Bleasdale, who'll have a second attempt at that. And now we come round on this occasion. 600 metres to go, and it's Chris Gorson of Belgrave who's hit the front here. As these competitors bunch up now. A very competitive heat, this one, as they look for those 2 automatic qualification places in tomorrow's final, which is due off at 20 to 3 tomorrow afternoon. Gorson for Belgrave, Wiley for Bracknell in the blue. Now Fitzgibbon trying to make some progress on the outside in the white of Phoenix. James West just going back a couple of places, bit of bumping and barging there. Kieran Roberts of Carmarthen did well to stay on his feet, actually, as the athletes cluster up. Wiley's trying to get off the inside in the blue and yellow, and Wiley comes through to second now, but it's Chris Gorson with 400 metres to go for Belgrave Harriers, who has the lead. Wiley, then Roberts, then Lingley, the early leader. West, Randall, and as we go back, Fitzgibbon at the back. Just hearing confirmation from Holly Bleasdale's jump, by the way, that because the bar actually jumped off the uprights and onto the supporting stanchion, that's why it was a foul. The bar didn't fall off, so my eyes weren't deceiving me. It was given as a foul because that bar was resting on the stanchion rather than on the usual positions. And now they enter the last 150 metres in this heat, and there are 2 away at the front, and it's Chris Gorson and it is Sean Wiley of Bracknell. They are the 2 out front at the moment. The challenge is on behind them as Nick Lingley moves into third, but these 2 now look to have the automatic qualification places up for grabs. They look like they've got them in the bag. Gorson and Wiley come round now, and they will put themselves into tomorrow's final. 3:53.86 the winning time. Good runs from the front 2. And they'll have to wait and see. Here's Bleasdale then on the runway. Second attempt, 481 for a stadium record. Not that time. So there was a bit of confusion as about Holly Bleasdale's first attempt. And of course the crowd, like me, cheered because the bar didn't fall down to the bed. But as we explained, if it moves off its resting position and onto being supported by the stanchions. You might have seen it happen in the major championships. I remember one incident at least where that happened. And therefore it was given as a foul by the officials, but Bleasdale's second attempt was unsuccessful. So she'll have 1 more to come. Let's look at the results and confirm the results from the second heat of the men's 1500, not the one we just watched, the one before that. Charlie Grice and Ben Coldray, the 2 automatic qualifiers, and Elliot Dorey having to wait and see, although his performance, I think, unlikely to get him in. The first heat was faster. So a PB for Sean Wiley of Bracknell, by the way, finishing second in that heat, 3:54.41. Nick Lingley and Zach Randall third and fourth, respectively, both at the same time, 3:55.01, as Holly Bleasdale just gathers herself for that third and final attempt. Already the champion, already the 4 times Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Champion and gold medalist. The silver going to Lucy Bryan, the bronze to Sally Peake. But now Holly Bleasdale looking to rewrite her own place in the British Athletics record books with a new stadium record here at the EIS. Next on the track, by the way, due shortly, will be the men's 3,000 metres featuring Andy Vernon, who's had a great winter on the cross-country mud. And boy, has it been muddy. You'll testify if you've been watching it, if you've been taking part. But the European bronze medalist over cross-country, as those athletes start to warm up for the men's 3,000 metres. There's Andy Vernon just at the bottom of the shot in the red, white and green of his club Aldershot Farnham and District. We'll keep an eye on Holly Bleasdale. You can just see her at the top of the shot under the Sainsbury's banner in the centre there. Just taking her position at the end of the runway for her third and final attempt at a stadium record of 4:81. So Bleasdale on the runway, 4:81. She has the record at 4:77. Can she change those numbers for the positive? Third and final attempt, roared on by this EIS crowd in Sheffield. Here she goes. No! Again, like the first attempt, so close and yet so far. But she's still the champion. Didn't have to work too hard today. Just one first-time clearance was enough for her to take the gold medal when she cleared at 4:46. 4:73 becomes her winning mark then. And Holly Bleasdale, for the fourth time, is the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Champion. So competitors gathering, as you can see from the lap counter, 15 laps of the track in this men's 3,000 metres. Still to come on the track, we have, as I say, the semi-finals of the women's 400, the semi-finals of the men's 400, the women's 1500 straight final now, due to the number of competitors who have entered, 14. And we still have one field event, which is yet to get underway. That's due off at 6:20. That's the women's shot put. And that again is the final. So 2 pages of intros for the men's 3,000 metre final. There are 19 in total. That's the first page of them. Picking out some numbers at random down there. The likes of Paul Pollock, the Irishman. There's Andy Vernon, AFD Aldershot Fireman District. Mark Draper, experienced Bedford and County athlete, more of a steeplechaser, and Luke Gunn the same. So keep an eye here on the stadium record, which is held by Mo Farah, 7:50.86. Now Andy Vernon has run quicker than that this year already in Glasgow. Coached by Nick Bidow, of course, who's based in Australia. Give you the full field as we get going. One of the athletes just falling over the start line there as we get them reset. So official protocol, a green card comes out for the athletes for a faulty start there. So again, a bit of bumping and barging with the field split due to the large number of athletes here. This is a straight final. There's a British title up for grabs here. 19 athletes. And early position is key as the athletes come together down that far side. And Andy Vernon in third place, settling himself down. Always likes to dictate things from towards the front, does Andy Vernon. But the leader in this early stage is Guillaume Adam, who's a guest runner from France. Ross Murray in the blue and white quarters in second place, the Gateshead Harrier. And now a move down the outside from Richard Weir from Derby, who's going to take this up. Completing the field, Johnny Hay from Aldershot Fireman District, Mark Mitchell from Forest Harriers, Paul Pollock of Ireland, Frank Baddock, Newham and Essex Beagles, Andy Hayes of Hallamshire, Adam Clark of Aldershot Fireman District, Connor Bradley, Woodford Green, Steve Mitchell from Bristol and West, Paulo Pinheiro, another guest from Portugal, Rory Chesser of Ireland, Ross Millington of Stockport Harriers, Tom Farrell of Border, Mark Draper of Bedford County, Luke Gunn of Derby, Johnny Miller from Liverpool Harriers, and Ross Murray from Gateshead. That's the complete field then. And as we mentioned, with 13 laps to go, 7:50.86 is Mo Farah's stadium record here at the EIS, which has stood since 2007. But it's Andy Vernon who, that thrilling sprint, if you saw it in the European Cross Country Championships in Belgrade just before Christmas, won it on the line with a storming late finish. Great form in the cross country. Registering 7:50.10 indoors so far. Johnny Hay hits the front then. Johnny Hay, the Aldershot Farnham District athlete, goes to the front running his Great Britain vest today. Weir in second, Adam of France is in third. They're the early leaders. Johnny Miller, Liverpool Harriers, he's in fourth at the moment. You can see coming through the shot, quite a few yellow vests. Ross Murray in the blue and white quarters. Bit of bumping and barging at the back there, involving Baddick, I think, of Newham and Essex Beagles. Steve Mitchell in the red and white of Bristol and West, the white with the red hoop. He's tucked in 5th place at the moment, just ahead of Ross Murray. As we head towards the back of the field, the likes of Luke Gunn settled towards the back, the steeplechaser. But it's Johnny Hay who leads from Richard Weir. Adam of France, the other Mitchell, a couple of Mitchells in this field. Mark Mitchell in the red of Forries Harriers in 4th position as well, not to be confused with Steve Mitchell, the man he's just gone past actually, in 5th and 6th place. They come around on this occasion, they have 10 laps to go, so 1,000 metres completed. They go through in 2:44.27 with 1,000 metres to go. Andy Vernon tucked about halfway back at the moment. He's got the red bib on as the Power of 10 leader. And he is, as we say, tucked probably about 6 or 7 from the back in this earlier stage. There's Paul Pollock out on the left of shot there in the gold and black vest, the Irishman, the Northern Irish 5,000 metre champion outdoors. This is his first indoor run since 2007, in fact, Paul Pollock. But it's Johnny Hay who's happy to take them along at this early stage. And now he's just being passed by Johnny Mellor. They're sharing the workload out the front, the Johnnies. And so let's confirm the 1,500 metre results, which will be on the way very shortly indeed. Still on the track, next due up, we have the semi-finals of the women's 400 metres. There's the final confirmation of the men's 1,500 metres final heat. Chris Gorson, the winner, and Sean Wiley taking the 2 automatic qualification spots for the 1,500 metres. Let's confirm the final lineup for you as well. Chris O'Hare, Lee Emanuel, Charlie Grice, Chris Gorson, Sean Wiley and Ben Coldray with the automatic qualifiers. And the fastest losers, Harry Harper, Miles Edwards and Stephen Davis, are all through to tomorrow's men's 1,500 metres final. The crowd have certainly been enjoying their day here on day 1 of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships. A sold-out indoor season, of course, a fantastic international match at the Emirates Arena in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. Next weekend, the Sainsbury's Indoor Grand Prix, which is also sold out in Birmingham. Terrific support for a fantastic spell of indoor athletics. This, of course, the biggest ever domestic indoor championships with over 400 competitors taking part. Next week, live on BBC television from the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham. Tickets are sold out, so hopefully you've got yours if you wanted to go. If not, set yourself in front of the box and enjoy some top-class athletics. Multiple world champions from Moscow outdoors, multiple Olympic champions from 2012 as well from London taking part in Birmingham next week. That will be a great spectacle as well. As the athletes continue their preparations, of course, towards Glasgow 2014. And don't forget, the World Athletics Outdoor Championships are here in the UK. 2017 in London, so lots of those 17, 18, 19-year-olds I've been mentioning, highlighting their age. They're ones to put in your notebook. Stars who could well be featuring by the time we get through to 2016 in Rio, 2017 in the World Athletics Championships. Those are the athletes getting ready for the women's 400 metres semi-final. And don't forget, these semi-finals won't include Shayna Cox, who was disqualified earlier on after winning her heat. Michael Bingham disqualified for the men's 400 metres, 2 high-profile names whose competition is already over. Worth pointing out while we wait for these competitors, by the way, that Katarina Johnson-Thompson, who entered the, didn't just enter, she won the high jump earlier on with that new British record of 196. She's entered tomorrow in both the 60-metre hurdles and the long jump. She's talking about competing overseas in the coming weeks to try and get herself the qualification standard to compete in the pentathlon. Of course, indoors, the men take part in the heptathlon and women in the pentathlon, so she's looking to compete in a number of fields to get herself qualified for the pentathlon. Although actually today she did jump the qualifying standard for Sopot in the high jump as an outright event, but she's going to go there as a multi-eventer as you'd expect. The Liverpool Harrier enjoying a great day. And we hope to see her tomorrow in at least one of those events, the 60-metre hurdles or the long jump on day 2 here in Sheffield. Don't forget tomorrow, joined by Adam Jamili as well, the European Junior 100-metre champion outdoors, who will be providing our post-race interviews. They will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel, British Athletics TV. So if you haven't subscribed already, you need to do so, and you'll be able to. It's absolutely free. Just click a button, probably a little bit below the screen you're watching us on right now. Next in the field arena, by the way, which is going on the centre of the arena, just behind the graphic you can see now, is the women's shot put. And the two top hopes, I guess, in that, Sophie McKenna at the top of the list there, and the defending champion Rachel Wallader of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow as well. We'll keep you up to date with that over the course of the next hour or so. Our Facebook page has all sorts of news, features and videos as well. Facebook.com/British Athletics is the place to sign up if you are a Facebook user. Don't forget, if you weren't with us earlier on, the way you're watching us now via this stream is exactly the place to watch us tomorrow when we have 15 finals. We have 9 British champions being crowned today, 15 tomorrow. Earlier start tomorrow, though. We're on air 12 midday through to 4:30 p.m. on day 2 here at the EIS in Sheffield. We can confirm the winning times for you, by the way, for the men's 3,000 metres. Andy Vernon was the winner, 7:56.84. Johnny Mellor, silver, 7:57.08. And Tom Farrell, bronze medal, 8:01.07. Richard Weir was 4th, Ross Murray was 5th, and Paul Pollock was 6th in that men's 3,000 metre final. So here we go then. Semi-finals of the women's 400 metres. There are 2. The finals of the men's and women's 400. There are 2 climax events tomorrow evening. So all of these athletes will get a rest after this through till tomorrow evening. The first 2 are guaranteed through, plus the 2 fastest losers. That's Philippa Lowe on the inside. A personal best in the heats of 55.2 from Decorum and Tring. Philippa Lowe's got some fans here as well. She just glances up to Harriet Pryke from Manx, who finished very strongly in the heats, 54.35 in lane 2. Margaret Adeayo from Enfield and Harrogate, a season opener for her. This is her first event of 2014. From Kingston and Polly, Mary Ahike. 54 flat to qualify in the heat, the power of 10 leader, Victoria Uhurigu from Newham and Essex Beagles, best of 53.17, and that's the defending champion on the outside. For Petrivi and for Scotland, Ailey Child, 53.65, she recorded in the heat. So on the outside, they'll be looking for quick starts here. They run the first part in lanes, of course, as Ailey Child. It's Victoria Uhurigu, though, who's gone out very strongly in lane number 5. And Uhurigu already up on Ailey Child outside her. Ihike going well inside her. And Margaret Adeayo starting well as well, but it's Victoria Urugu who will come round and try and get to the break first. As they come round the home straight, they go past those yellow cones and then they can break. And Ailey Child wants to get round the outside and get to the bell in front, and she does. It's Child from Urugu, from Ahike, Margaret Adeo. Then comes Harriet Pryke and detaches Philippa Lowe at the back. The first two automatically go through. Ailey Child, the defending champion, strides out down the back. Urugu now in second place. Adeo coming on the outside from Ahike. But now Adeo moves into second place and she's bearing down on Ailey Child as they come round into the home straight. And it's Ailey Child now. A look of determination on her face from Adeo. Victoria Urugu might get run out of this then. It's going to be Child and Adeo who take the two first automatic spots. And Urugu will have to wait and see. A strong finish from Harriet Pryke, who came through for fourth, ahead of Ahike and Philippa Lowe. 53.06, by the way, the winning time for Ailey Child, inside her 2014 best. So Child and Adeo are through. And Urugu will have to wait and see if she is the fastest loser in third. And with Shayna Cox's absence, of course, after her DQ, there's opportunities for maybe some of the youngsters. It's quite a young heat, this next one. The likes of Saren Bundy-Davis, who ran brilliantly in the heats earlier on to qualify in first place. Ailey Child, 53.06, confirmed in first place. Margaret Adeo, 53.18 in second. And Victoria Urugu, we'll have to see if her 53.45 is enough. A personal best for the Manx athlete Harriet Pryke, 54.22. So there's a confirmed result of the men's 3,000 metres. Andy Vernon, 7.56. Johnny Mellor, 7.57. And Tom Farrell, 8.01, the medalists. And scrolling down, Mark Draper didn't complete the finish. The early leader, Johnny Hay, there down in 15th place, ahead of his teammate Adam Clark. So some of the headlines from earlier, remember, if you weren't with us in the men's 60 metres hurdles, we had a dead heat between Will Sharman and Andy Potsy, who had to share the British title and the gold medal. Took ages for that confirmed result to come through. In the men's 60 metres final, Dasa Olu beat Chambers, Kilty with the bronze. And in the women's 60 metre final, Asha Phillip defended her title successfully. One of the 12 defending champions who are back here trying to do the same again. Asha Phillip from Dina Asher-Smith and Montel Douglas, the 1, 2, 3 in the women's 60 metres. Wins for Holly Bleasdale in the pole vault, for Katarina Johnson-Thompson in the high jump, for Julian Reid in the triple jump as well. All of those results are on our Brit Athletics Twitter stream right now, at Brit Athletics, if you want to catch up with anything that happened earlier. And there's the confirmed result of that semi-final we just saw. The first of two, Ailey Child and Margaret Adeo, both through. I'm sure that young lady's probably tweeting us right now at Brit Athletics, hashtag Indoor Champs. If you are tweeting us, it's easy for us to find if you hashtag it with Indoor Champs. That's Saren Bundy-Davis, who ran 54.12 to win her heat earlier on. She goes in lane 3 of this second heat. We'll intro the competitors to you in just a moment. There's the full list. Semi-final 2 of 2. Fitzpatrick, Diamond, Bundy Davis, Alcock, Wake and Beasley.
On the track is the second semi-final of the women's 400 metres. In lane 1, she ran up.
So for Sale Harriers Manchester, Abigail Fitzpatrick, 54.37, her best this year, 20 years of age. The white and red of Bristol and West, not in the club vest, but still the same colours. Emily Diamond, 22 years of age. Seren Bundy Davis, just 19 years of age. It was a personal best in the heat for Amy Alcock from Aldershot Farnham District. That was 54.85. That's the fastest qualifier. Laura Wake from Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow finished behind Shayna Cox, who was subsequently disqualified. Finished 4th in this last year. And the world semi-finalist outdoors, Megan Beasley. Usually seen over the barriers, of course. 52.80 makes her the fastest in this field. Semi-final number 2 in the women's 400 metres. First 2 automatically qualify. So where we go, Beasley on the outside, Laura Wake in lane number 5, but Beasley's gone out strongly. Wake is with her as well. Also a strong start from Emily Diamond in lane number 2 as well. They run in lanes right round until the home straight. Beasley right on the outside. Emily Diamond has gone out very hard in lane number 2 as well. The blue, Laura Wake, 4th last year. We want to go onto the podium this time again as they strain to get themselves to the front in time for the bell, and it's Megan Beasley who leads them as they go into the second half of the race, just ahead of Emily Diamond. Then comes Laura Wake. Amy Alcock in 4th for AFD, followed by Abigail Fitzpatrick, and right at the back, Seren Bundy Davis at the moment. As they go down the back straight, Megan Beasley leads. Emily Diamond in 2nd. Now Laura Wake looking to make her move as they come round with 100 metres left to go. Beasley now has a 2 or 3 metre lead. Now Wake looking to strike round the outside. Just the first 2 automatically go through, remember. Megan Beasley's going to have one of those spots. Who's going to get the second? Laura Wake possibly just got there on the line, but it's very, very close. She had the momentum. Wake and Diamond will separate them in a photo. Megan Beasley safely through, though, to the final of the women's 400 metres tomorrow evening. Winning time, 53.41 for Megan Beasley. So Megan Beasley confirmed the season's best of 53.40 for Megan Beasley to win that semi-final. The fastest loser spots, by the way, 54.22 was the fastest loser mark in heat number 1. Laura Wake gets the nod as the second qualifier, 53.72, finishing strongly down the outside. So Beasley and Wake are the 2 automatic qualifiers. And Emily Diamond, 53.73. Looks like she is going to make it through as a fastest loser. A PB for Amy Alcock in 4th, 54.11. So those are competitors for the men's 400 metres semi-finals, which are due next. Seren Bundy Davis, 54.2 in 5th, and Abigail Fitzpatrick, 54.67, completing the finishing order in the women's 400 metres semi-final. As you can see, the time 23 minutes past 6. You're with British Athletics TV, live across the world on YouTube from day 1 of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. We'll keep you updated with the early stages of the shot put, by the way. We'll keep the attention on the track for these semi-finals, but we'll let you know how the early stages of the shot put are also going. I can tell you that Rachel Wallader, the defending champions, opened up with 15 metres 31. Sophie McKenna, 14.54 in round 1. Currently in 3rd. So there's confirmation of that second women's semi-final. Beasley and Wake go through. And we'll confirm those fastest losers for you as soon as we have them. And in fact, we can confirm them for you right now. Victoria Urugu goes through as a fastest loser, and so does Emily Diamond. So the women's 400-metre final tomorrow night will be Ailey Child, Margaret Adeo, Megan Beasley, Laura Wake, Victoria Urugu, and Emily Diamond. So Nigel Levine, the defending champion, going for his 4th title, goes in the 2nd of these men's 400-metre semi-finals. First one looks up for grabs. The second one, Jamie Bowie, who went 2nd on the Scottish all-time list recently. Richard Buck, who ran well in Vienna recently. Daniel Ord, the former decathlete as well, who's now given up multi-events, concentrating on individual events. They're all in the 2nd heat. Bowie, Levine, Buck, Ord, they're all in heat number 2. That's Omar Simpson from Bristol and West, readying himself. So there's your full start list for semi-final number 1 then, in the men's 400 metres.
Now on the track, it's the semi-finals of the men's 400 metres. First 2 to qualify, plus 2 fastest losers.
Elliot Rutter from Birchfield Harriers, the teenager, just 18 years of age. A PB to qualify in 47.92.
Personal best for his heats, Elliot Rutter. Lane 2, England under 23 champion for
Blackheath and Bromley, Dan Putnam. Supported well by some of the other Blackheath and Bromley athletes who are here. James Foreman from Southampton. There's Omar Simpson. 47.76 in the heat for Omar Simpson. Luke Lennon Ford was a winner of his heat in 46.90. Birchfield Harriers. And on the outside, Rory Evans of Stockport. So again, the first 2, plus the 2 fastest losers in these 2 men's 400-metre semi-finals. Rutter, Putnam, Foreman, Simpson, Lennon Ford, and Evans. So away they go. Rory Evans on the outside of Stockport Harriers, starting strongly out of the blocks in the yellow. Luke Lennon Ford trying to go with him as well. And on his inside is Omar Simpson. A strong start from Dan Putnam as well in lane number 2 for Blackheath and Bromley, who's already come through on the inside. But Omar Simpson now in lane number 4, just alongside Luke Lennon Ford. Putnam coming through as well now. But it's going to be Lennon Ford who leads them through from Simpson. Now moving up on the outside is Rory Evans. Putnam in 4th. Then comes Rutter at the back of the field, just behind James Foreman of Southampton. But it's Luke Lennon Ford down the back straight then with Omar Simpson of Bristol and West right on his tail. 2 qualify automatically. A bit of argy-bargy there. An unfortunate clip of the heels. Lost the momentum, did Omar Simpson. And Lennon Ford opens up a gap as Rory Evans chases him down. And Luke Lennon Ford looks over his shoulder. Rory Evans, the second qualifier. And a storming finish from James Foreman down the outside. Got him 3rd. He'll have to wait and see. But it's Lennon Ford and Evans. And a bit of misfortune for Omar Simpson from Bristol and West. A heel clip coming around the home bend. Looked to cost him all his chance. The winning time, by the way, was 47.43 for Luke Lennon Ford. Comfortable in the end, easing down. Books his place in tomorrow's final. And that final is the very last event of this weekend, the men's 400-metre final, at 4:10 tomorrow afternoon. 47.43, confirmed time for Luke Lennon Ford. So we still have to come on the track after this, the women's 1500 metres, which will be a straight final now. It was due to be heats today and a final tomorrow, but that now, with 14 athletes entering, will be a straight final in the women's 1500 metres. That coming up at 6:45. Rory Evans, 47.54, and James Foreman, 47.96. That will be the fastest loser mark that the second heat will have to aim for. James Foreman's mark of 47.96 to try and get themselves through to the final. Rachel Wallander, by the way, leading the shot put still, 15.88. As I say, we'll take some pictures of that when we've finished with these men's 400 metre semi-finals, but 15.88 the lead at the moment for Rachel Wallander. She's ahead of Kirsty Yates of Edinburgh, 15.27. And Eleanor Gatrell of Woking, experienced 37-year-old. She's currently in third. Confirmation of that men's 400 metre semi-final result. Lennon Ford and Evans. James Foreman will have to wait and see. So Nigel Levine won his heat with a hint of arrogance, looking around and coasting, really. He was coasting from about halfway onwards, it would be fair to say, as he goes for his fourth title. That's Richard Buck, who ran well in Vienna recently, 46.67. The Irish athlete Richard Morrissey. Competitors have plenty to cheer on today. There's Dan Ord, the former decathlete, in the green and white hoops of Woodford Green and Essex ladies. Another one tweeting, hashtag indoor champs, don't forget. Yeah, that was just checking the football scores. There's your full lineup for this second semi-final in the men's 400 metres. First two go through, and the two fastest qualifiers will need to beat 48.17. Tim Byrne, again some local support for Tim Byrne, the yellow and blue. City of Sheffield AC, not a whole lot of local support there, it's fair to say. Richard Morrissey of Ireland, Then the purple of Richard Buck. Represents the City of York AC, does Richard Buck. Daniel Ord, the Olympian at the decathlon. Big lad, isn't he? Still got that decathlon size. There's those trademark yellow sleeves of Jamie Bowie, who went second on the Scottish all-time list with a run recently in Glasgow, 46.65, a new PB. And even with his own name on, doesn't need the bib, does he? He's got his own name on his singlet, stroke lycra. Nigel Levine, going for his fourth title, bidding to do something that Jim Orchid did 40 years ago. Levine on the outside will try and dictate this. First two, and the two fastest losers. So where we go, the second and final semi-final, and Levine has gone tearing out around the outside as Bowie tries to stay with him. Ward has started strongly as well, as has Richard Buck, but Levine has taken a metre or two out of the field in the first 100 metres or so as he looks to get himself to the break in front. Richard Buck now trying to make sure he doesn't come in through on the inside, but it's going to be Levine who will break to the front first. From Buck and from Bowie, the first two will make it through to tomorrow night's final. Ord is fourth. In fifth, Tim Byrne. At the back of the field, Richard Morrissey. But it's Nigel Levine. Now he's doing things his own way, Nigel Levine. He looks behind him and sees Richard Buck bearing down. Ord is trying to challenge Bowie for third now. Ord now maybe coming around the outside of Buck for second. But there's Levine glancing around, managing this race to his expectations. 3 or 4 or 5 looks round. And it's Levine easy as Buck tried to take him on the line with a cheeky little spurt at the end there. But it's Levine and Buck. The 1-2, 46.90. And the rest, again, we'll have to wait and see. But Levine looking in good shape. And again, had plenty in hand, it would appear, for the amount of times he looked round. Exactly the same as he did in his heat earlier on. But Levine wins it in 46.90. So James Foreman with 48.17 was the fastest loser before that heat. So judge for yourself whether you think that the third and fourth place athletes there had run faster than that. Bearing in mind the winner's time, we'll wait and see. We'll confirm that 400-metre lineup for you shortly. Sophie McInnes now the leader in the shot put, by the way, in round 3, 16 metres and 5. Rachel Waller, 15.88. And Kirsty Yates, 15.53 in third. We'll pick up pictures, as we say, once we finish dealing with the 400 metres semi-finals, which we'll confirm the results for in just a moment. In case you want to plan your day tomorrow, by the way, a quick advance look ahead to tomorrow. We're on air from 12 noon here on British Athletics TV. Nigel Levine, 46.89, by the way, just before we do that. Richard Buck, 46.95 in second. 47.07 for Jamie Bowie, so that's going to get him through as a fastest loser. And Daniel Ord, 47.13. That ties the time of James Formal in the previous heat, so we'll have to wait and see which one of them gets the nod on thousandths of the second, probably. But Levine and Buck and Bowie will go through. We'll confirm the full lineup shortly. Robbie Grabas, if you're interested in him, defending his title tomorrow, 2:25 p.m. He'll be challenged by the likes of Tom Parsons. Also tomorrow, keep an eye out for the men's 800-metre final. The likes of Andrew Asagi, Guy Learmonth as well. Results to be confirmed in just a moment's time. Women's long jump, Shara Proctor tomorrow. There's the confirmed result of the second semi-final. Levine from Buck. Bowie's 47.07 will get him through. Ord, very close to getting through. We'll wait and see if that is confirmed in just a moment. In fact, we can confirm that right now. And Ord has got through. James Foreman has missed out, unfortunately. So Ord has gone through. Levine, Buck, Bowie, Ord, Lennon, Ford, Evans, they are the qualifiers. In the shot put, Kirsty Yates currently in third position there. And that's a foul for her, the Edinburgh AC athlete, so that one won't be measured. So Kirsty Yates remains third, 15 metres and 53. So we still have one event left on the track. That is the women's 1,500-metre final, of which there are 14 athletes who will get underway in about 7 or 8 minutes' time. So we'll be able to stay with the shot put for a short time. And this is Adele Nicole from Birchfield Harriers, who's currently in 6th place with 14.25. And that looks short of the 14-metre mark for Adele Nicole. So current leader, Sophie McInnes, the 19-year-old, Great Yarmouth and District AC, with her throw of 16 metres and 5. That's measured at 13.13 for Nicole. So we're halfway through the women's shot put then. McInnes 16.05, Wallader 15.88, and Yates 15.53. That's the current 1-2-3. Gatrell of Woking in 4th with 14.97. And in 5th place, Alison Roger, 14.32, as the competitors are reordered with the leader throwing last. That is Sophie McInnes. Just hearing that Omar Simpson in the 400 metres has put an appeal in. Of course, he was slightly obstructed or impeded, lost his place coming round the home bend. So Omar Simpson in the 400 metres men's semi-final has put in an official protest. So we'll wait and bring you any news of that we get very shortly. He ended up finishing 4th as James Foreman finished very strongly around the outside to take him. We'll wait and see whether that's going to affect anything. I've just been told by Head of Communication at British Athletics, Liz Birchall, that Kim Collins is watching us online via the British Athletics TV. Legendary sprinter from St Kitts and Nevis, a big favourite, of course, here in the UK as well. So, Kim, good afternoon to you, or whatever time it is, wherever you're watching. And we'll have the 1500 metre start list for women very shortly, but hopefully Kim is enjoying it. Tweet us, Kim. # Indoor Champs, at British Athletics, rather, on Twitter. But good to have even the world superstars, the legends, watching us here on British Athletics TV. More than 100,000 people watched the stream last year, very well received, so hopefully you're enjoying the coverage today. Live from the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield with myself, Chris Temple. If you want to send me any tweets, of course, as well as the ones that have been going through, then I'm Chris Temple with a K, K-R-I-S, Temple on Twitter. There's the start list then, that's page 1 of the women's 1500 metres, which was due to be heats, but now is a straight final due to there being 14 athletes, so the number's manageable for a straight final, and that is the competitors. Natalie Shaw from Derby, then Natalie Sharp. Roseanne Gallagher of Ireland, Fionn Price from Cardiff, Alison Leonard of Blackburn. Gemma Simpson from Newquay Parr in Cornwall, based in the US, of course, these days. Laura Dunn of Edinburgh. Sarah McDonald of Jarrow and Hebburn. Morag McClarty of Central AC in Scotland. The white and green of Guernsey for Natalie Whitty. Then Melissa Courtney, the Power of 10 leader. Hannah Brooks from Crawley is in the yellow. Rachel Bamford of Leeds City. And on the inside, Sophie Riches from Chelmsford. This is a straight final then. Another British title up for grabs. The women's 1500 metres, 7.5 laps of the track. Our final track event of day 1 here in Sheffield. Starter not happy. A couple of them just encroaching over the start line, so they'll be reset. Ticked off, fleas in their ear. And they will try again. Green card. There's a formality for a faulty start that the starter wasn't happy with. So away we go, and again the athletes all starting in one group in this 1500 metres, so hopefully a safe passage through the early stages. There was one had their heels clipped towards the back there. I think that might have been, in fact I wasn't quite sure in the middle of the field who that was. It might have been McDonald, I think, who in the red top might have got her heels clipped. But early on, Roseanne Gallagher of Ireland leads them out in these early stages. The Leeds City AC athlete Rachel Bamford in second in this early stage. Morag McClarty of Central AC in third, Gemma Simpson on the outside. Also Laura Dunn of Edinburgh in the white on the outside as well. But Roseanne Gallagher already opened up a 5 metre lead or so, maybe a little bit more in these early stages in this final of the women's 1500 metres. So Gallagher of Ireland and Gemma Simpson in those orangey pink shoes, who's been competing regularly in the US, coached by Mark Rowland, of course. Hasn't run a 1500 since 2008, by the way, before last week. So it's been an event she hasn't run too many of indoors. Ran 4:17.81 in Glasgow, did Gemma Simpson, who currently sits in second place behind that lady who's out in front, Roseanne Gallagher. Simpson, then Melissa Courtney just making progress up into third for Shaftesbury Barnet, the Power 10 leader, the 20-year-old. And a couple of the stars of the future. Sophie Riches, the Chelmsford AC in green and yellow, further back through the field, is just 18 years of age, so she's her name to keep an eye out in the future. The crowd very vociferous in the home straight here at the EIS for this championship, as Roseanne Gallagher who does compete for Ireland and therefore is not eligible to win the British title or to potentially claim a place in Sopot for Britain at least. She's the leader at the moment. The qualifying time, by the way, is 4 minutes 14. The winner automatically qualifies for Sopot as long as they have reached that qualifying standard before the cut-off, which does include next week's Indoor Grand Prix in the NIA in Birmingham as well. And the qualification period has been back since the 1st of January 2013 as they come round on this occasion. 4 laps to go, 800 metres to go, and the split, the clock has kept running, but it was approximately 1:58 there or thereabouts. It's Galligan from Courtney, Gemma Simpson in 3rd, Alison Leonard in 4th place. She ran recently a 4:15.59 in Ireland. The Bud Boldaro coached athlete Alison Leonard in the blue and white, who's currently in 4th position. Top of the UK rankings, Melissa Courtney with her PB of 4:15.07, but it's still Galligan who's still got that big lead, 7, 8, 9 metres. Courtney in 2nd, but Galligan comes around now, 600 metres to go. The chasing pack in behind her, though, will know that Roseanne Galligan doesn't qualify for the British title, so the 3 behind there, led by Courtney, Simpson and Leonard. They're the 3 at the moment, fighting out the medals. But Galligan still leads them down. She's the one they've got to catch. There's always that confidence of being the first across the line, of course, regardless of where the medals finish. But Galligan, having gone out hard, can she keep it going now? Can she maintain it? She'll come round this time with 400 metres to go. Some of Melissa Courtney's fans just to my right-hand side, screaming her on now as they've closed that gap right down to 3 or 4 metres. 2 laps to go. Galligan from Courtney, from Simpson, from Leonard, and that gap then is big as they go back towards 5th place. Sophie Riches, I think, is making progress up towards 5th position as we look back through the field. Galligan, though, is going to be caught, and Courtney is going to go past as they go down the back straight, and Gemma Simpson's going to go with her as well. So it's Courtney and Simpson now. It's going to be an exciting last 200 metres or so as they come round on the home straight. And this time they'll hear the bell. And Courtney hits the front, top of the UK rankings. She's the leader. Simpson in 2nd. And Leonard's gone past in 3rd. 3:41.32 is the split time. As the 3 protagonists now fight out the medals with Roseanne Galligan relegated back to 4th. So it's Courtney digging in from the front. Simpson now on her shoulder. Leonard hasn't given up at all in 3rd place either. It's all going to be decided over the last 100 metres or so. Where's your money going? Where are the medals going? Still Courtney digging in. Simpson now. Has she got anything left to make a move round the outside? Courtney's got the inside run. Courtney gritting her teeth. Here comes Simpson down the outside. Courtney won't be passed. Now she will. Gemma Simpson for Newquay and Parr wins it. Alison Leonard takes 2nd and 3rd in the end. Melissa Courtney, who bravely took it on, but is relegated to bronze. Simpson gold, Leonard silver, and Melissa Courtney takes the bronze. 4:14.68. And the good news, the unfortunate news for Gemma Simpson is that is just outside the World Indoor Qualifying Standard. Certainly in terms of today's run. But Gemma Simpson, US-based, has come in and run well in Glasgow last week, 4:17, and run even better today, 3 seconds better, to take the British title over 1,500 metres. So we'll wait for the confirmation of those results and winning times. We'll go back to the shot put shortly on pictures, but we still have, in fact, we have a new leader in round 4. Rachel Wallader has taken the lead with 16:45 ahead of Sophie McKinnon, 16:05, who fouled in round 4. So Gemma Simpson's winning time confirmed as 4:14.68. Alison Leonard, a personal best in 2nd for Blackburn, 4:14.76. She takes the silver medal. And the bronze to Melissa Courtney of Shaftesbury, and a PB for her as well, but not enough to take the top 2 spots. 4:14.86 for Melissa Courtney in the bronze medal position. Roseanne Galligan, the long-time early leader, 4:21.80. She finished for Ireland in 4th. So that completes our track events. We're going to stay, of course, with the women's shot put through to its conclusion. Rachel Bamford, by the way, worth mentioning, a personal best for her in 5th for Leeds, 4:21.89. Good run for her in 5th. So women's shot put, then we can concentrate on the final 2 rounds of this now with all the track action done. That is Adele Nicole, who's currently in 6th place. That's her penultimate round, 5th round of 6. Best of 14.25 so far. So Rachel Wallader, the defending champion, leading her training partner, Sophie McKenna, by 40 centimetres. 13.55 for Adele Nicole in round 5. Keeps her in 6th place. And this is Alison Roger in the green, white and red of Sale. Alison Roger looking for an improvement on 14 metres and 43. So if our track action was what particularly tickled your fancy, maybe you're leaving us in the near future. Obviously, we want to have you to stay for the shot put conclusion, which could be exciting between the training partners Wallader and McKenna. But if you are leaving us, tell us what you thought of the coverage today and what your hopes for tomorrow, what you particularly enjoyed today, your moment of the day. Hashtag Indoor Champs, send it to @BritAthletics. Don't forget to sign up for our Facebook page as well for news and views and videos, facebook.com/British Athletics. And subscribe to our British Athletics TV channel on YouTube. It's absolutely free. And that will enable you to get Adam Jamili's trackside post-race interviews tomorrow. We're delighted to have the European Junior 100-metre champion with us tomorrow. You'll be able to get his interviews on the British Athletics TV website. On air midday tomorrow through till 4:30, so either have your lunch early or set up the internet stream while you're having lunch. You can see it now, a nice little iPad set up in the middle of your Sunday dinner table, all sat round scoffing Yorkshires while watching the action from here in Sheffield. Confirm the 1500 results just before we stick with the conclusion of the women's shot put final. Gemma Simpson, the winner, the British champion, 4:14.68. Alison Leonard, 4:14.76. Melissa Courtney was 3rd. Another page to come, just in case someone you were watching particularly isn't on that page. There's the rest of them there. Riches, Sharp and Shaw. This is Kirsty Yates of Edinburgh, who's currently in the bronze medal position. 15.53 is her best so far. It's a bit hard from that angle to tell. She doesn't look too enamoured with that throw. She gets the white flag, so the throw will be measured. Currently in 3rd. Can she improve on 15.53? She needs to improve half a metre if she's to challenge Sophie McKenna in 2nd. It's 15.11 for Kirsty Yates. And there is Sophie McKenna, currently in 2nd. So it's going to be, it would appear, a shootout, as we probably expected at the start, between the 2 training partners. In fact, Rachel Wallader's in the circle next, so there's Rachel Wallader. And she's gone out towards 16 metres there, maybe just shy of 16 metres that time. 16.45 is her leading mark currently. $15.80 for Rachel Wallader, so no improvement. She's still the leader, but can Sophie McKenna challenge that now? The teenager from Great Yarmouth District, her personal best is 16.38, so she's got to better that if she wants to win this title. Her best this year, 16.25 indoors. 16.45 is what she needs. She's got 2 throws left as Sophie McKenna, the European Junior silver medalist. Let's come up short of 16 metres, so that's not going to change the lead, so she'll have 1 more attempt to go. Now, can anybody break into these top 3 medal positions? The standings going into the final round. Wallader, 16.45, McKenna, 16.05, and Yates, 15.53, just below the medal positions, as that one is 15.35 measured for McKenna. Gatrell, 15.07, is currently 4th, so she's got to find half a metre to get herself into the medal positions. A big thanks, by the way, to Sainsbury's for our final time today, our official major event partner and our official partner of major events throughout the year. National Lottery, of course, one of our British Athletics partners. Nike, the kit supplier. As a final throw being taken by Sarah Benson of Bingley Harriers AC. Wants to improve on 12.92. Polar, our heart rate monitors. Saka, our water suppliers. UK Sport, of course. Sheffield City Council, the EIS, and Sheffield International Venues for their magnificent support, enabling us to stage this year's event, the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships here at the EIS, as Sarah Benson closes with 12 metres and 4 centimetres. So she'll finish in 8th position, as Danielle Opara from Reading Athletic Club will try and improve on 13.31, English schools champion, currently in 7th, and throwers throwing in reverse order, of course, in these final 3 rounds. So Opara closes. So she won't improve on 7th position. It's all going to come down to the last 2 throws. Yates in 3rd is well ahead of the 4th place athlete, and Waller and McKenna are well ahead of Yates. So 13.36, that's an improvement in the final round for Opara, but not enough to lift her out of 7th place. So Adele Nicol, the Birchfield Harrier, throws next. Personal best of 14.20 before today. She's improved that with her first round throw of 14.25, her best so far. And that looks short of 14 metres, I think, on that final occasion. So she is going to finish in 6th place, Adele Nicol from Birchfield Harriers. And Wales, as you saw from her vest. So performance of the day will come up. We'll let you know what the performance of the day was, by the way. Quite a few contenders from earlier on. I have a feeling that having already picked up a $5,000 US dollar bonus for a British record, Katarina Johnson-Thompson may well be going home with some more dollars in her purse. But the British athletics officials are making that decision. We'll let you know performance of the day, the Sainsbury's performance of the day. As Alison Roger of Sale Harriers Manchester in 5th place currently with 14.97 completes her set of 6. Don't forget the team for the Sopot World Indoor Championships in Poland. 14.77, so no improvement for Roger in round 6. She finishes in 5th position. The team will be announced on the 18th of February, so the selectors will meet on Monday next week, not this week coming, but the following week, after the Sainsbury's Indoor Grand Prix at Birmingham, and they will therefore name the team. The winners today, as long as they've got the qualifying standards, the winners of the British titles this weekend automatically qualify. There are up to 2 athletes per event able to go, 6 in the relay. The selectors have some discretion as well. As we see our current 4th placer looking to reach 15.53 to get into the medals. And looks short of that mark. So a brave effort from Eleanor Gatrell from Woking, 37-year-old. She will finish just outside the medals in 4th place. $15.35, so actually not that far short, only 18 centimetres short in the end of the bronze medal position, so finishes with her best, and her best by a good 30 centimetres or so, which means that Kirsty Yates of Edinburgh is guaranteed a bronze. Can she potentially, possibly, find half a metre somewhere to get herself into silver medal position? Her best so far, 15.53. Ahead of her, Sophie McKenna in 2nd with 16.05. But Yates takes this throw knowing she's already got a medal. And again out, it would appear towards the 15-metre mark and a red flag to finish with. So a bronze for Kirsty Yates. And now it's left to the 2 training partners to slug it out for gold.
Just 1 throw remaining. 16 metres and 45 in the 4th round for Rachel Waller from Windsor Slough Eton.
So Rachel Waller into the circle in the blue and yellow of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. There she is. She's the leader. 16.45 is her best so far. Can she extend that? So around about 16 metres again for Rachel Wallader, who is the defending champion. The red bib, remember, that Sophie McKenna is wearing is signals that she's top of the Power 10 rankings, the UK rankings, but Wallader will hope she's done enough. All she can do now is watch as Sophie McKenna looks to set a new lifetime best. The final event, 16:01 for Wallader, so no improvement. So the mark is 16:45. So we have around about a minute and a bit left on air, so hopefully we'll get this final throw in before our stream is ended at 1900 hours. The performance of the day, the Sainsbury's performance of the day, you can find that on our Twitter at Brit Athletics. We probably won't get that in time before we go off air here at the EIS. But check our Twitter. It's McKenna. Can she pinch the gold? Needs 16:45. Oh, where's that gone out to? Let's have a look. It's around about 16 metres. She's not happy with it. She doesn't think she's done enough, so she's almost handing the victory to Rachel Wallader, who will take the title for the second year in a row. We wait for confirmation of that, but Sophie McKenna was nearly giving it away, wasn't she? Not happy at the moment, thinking she hasn't quite done enough. Rachel Wallader just waits for confirmation to come through on the scoreboard here at the EIS. It's 16:13. It's not far enough, so Wallader is the champion. McKenna takes the silver with her best throw of the day of 16:13 in the final round. And the bronze goes to Kirsty Yates with 15:53. So that completes the action here on day one of the Sainsbury's British Athletics Indoor Championships here in Sheffield. More reaction, interviews and news, of course, on our Twitter at Brit Athletics. Hopefully you'll be back to join us tomorrow for day two. We're on air at 12 midday through till 4:30. 15 champions will be crowned here tomorrow. 9 today, 15 tomorrow for that gold ribbon title of British Indoor Champion for 2014. If you've got tickets tomorrow, we'll look forward to seeing you. You'll have a cracking day, I'm sure. Stay in touch on Twitter. This is exactly the place to stay with us tomorrow as well via British Athletics TV on YouTube. From me, Chris Temple, and for the whole team, hopefully you can join us tomorrow from Sheffield. A very good night.